Hey, I meant to do that. Welcome back to the Dynasty Grind. My name's Peter Howard at PA Howdy on Twitter. I'm here with Zach Reed, Tacit Assassin 13 on Twitter, and Dynasty Outhouse, Dynasty Outhouse on Twitter, otherwise known as Russ Fisher. It's his birthday, so it'd be nice if you mentioned that all just constantly throughout the comments tonight, because he loves it. He likes to be noticed and recognized for that kind of thing. He's really happy. He's excited. You can see the little screen down below, and he's very excited that I told you all that. Where was I? Yeah, I'm fresh back from the For Argument's Sake podcast. Had a really good time talking to them this week, and it dropped like straight away. It's like they're professional and they got it all edited in time. But yeah, what else is new with me? Not much. I just watched a TikTok that made me believe all modern technology is actually secretly a blender. It's like my fifth TikTok, so I guess that's what the whole platform is about. That's about all I know about the world now. Yeah, welcome back to the Dynasty Grind. Let's talk about some fantasy football, I guess. That's all the introduction I have. Hey guys, how you doing? Happy birthday, Russ. Really appreciate you showing up on your birthday.
I feel like we should kind of Jack Black this and be like, we are no longer the Dynasty Grind. We're spitballing ideas, but for tonight and one night only, we are Everything's a Blender. Live
Everything's
on DLF.
It was weird. She put socks in like a tub. I thought she was going to soak them, and then it turned into a blender. And then she put like mushrooms in like a pot. And I was like, that's a saucepan. I know what a saucepan looks like. And it turned into a blender.
Like a blender?
No, apparently. I don't know what the world is anymore. And I'm scared and afraid. And therefore, I think it's time to start hating the youth. I think that's that's what we do when we get to that point, right? Like, all the young people suck. Alan Davis donated $5. Like, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. We don't ask for that, but we always appreciate people showing support that way. And he has have Waller and Adams trying to trade Adams. Should I be worried about having Adams and Waller starting?
Nope.
Higgins, Godwin, McLaurin, Gabe Davis.
No, your team sounds great. Don't worry about it.
I would trade Devontae Adams in Dynasty, and I would trade Gabe Davis as soon as I could, and even Godwin and McLaurin make for good trade targets, but it's about the trade. Your team looks good. These are all interesting players for 2022, but I definitely wouldn't be worried about them sharing the same team.
Yeah, it's good to have. Good
that's the T. Higgins thing. Let's put it through a T. Higgins lens, since everyone loves T. Higgins now. You'd rather have multiple players on a good team than the number one on many different bad teams. So think about it that way. That's the way I would think about it. Silence of the Lamb was here from 10 to 9, which is more than I can say for me or anyone else on the Dynasty Grind. We're not as dedicated to Silence of the Lamb. Really appreciate it, though, dude. 12-team Superflex, Nuke Hopkins or Christian Kirk? I mean, it's kind of... Honestly, I take Hopkins upside. Kind of.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'd still take Hopkins because Hopkins can give you... He's not going to give you 17 games this year because he's suspended for 6, but he can give you 10 games of a wide receiver 1 if he hits, what he's capable of. And I don't think Christian Kirk is capable of that. So I'm going to take the points.
I recently heard Dynasty Outhouse on another podcast. He's almost never fobs off, just this podcast. This live stream that he does, but called the Dynasty Wall Street. Excellent podcast. You should definitely listen to it for the Dynasty Trade Calculator. But he was saying he now has a reasonable love for Christian Kirk. It's come down to reasonable. Is that about right?
If you listen to Trade Addicts, another podcast I just so happened to do, which I dropped earlier today, I traded 2 shares of Christian Kirk away because
I just gave you some background music.
Did we just go through a haunted house or something?
That's what Christian Kirk does to a stream, man.
Is the room stretching or is it an illusion?
Man, let me set up some background music. Okay.
So I was looking at my rostership numbers, and I had 6 shares of T. Higgins, 6 shares of Mike Williams, and then 4 shares of Justin Ross. And I'm like, I can't do that to my hashtag Team Clemson big wide receiver brother. So I went through every league except for this guy where he has him. and I offered trades for Justin Ross, and the two that got accepted were the two leagues where I sent Christian Kirk for Justin Ross. So I now have 6, 6, and 6. I cannot, for the life of me, trade for Sammy Watkins.
Really? You can't do it? You can't do it, or no one will give it up?
Multiple times, a third and a fourth for Sammy Watkins got rejected.
Well, they want that week 1 game. Just do it week 2.
That's the joke, but people still
it's real.
Trade Sammy Watkins like he's magically going to be good now.
No, it's just week 1. Like, let week 1 pass. Like, no, I mean, it's so stupid, but if he goes off again in week 1, who's going to be the stupid one? You know? Just let week 1 go by. Just let that happen.
Do not make me Veruca salt all over this stream right now, because I will.
CEH or a 23-second and CEH, please. I'll take it.
Yeah, CEH. He's actually got to the point where he's underrated now, which is it's taken a while to get there, but he is.
You think he's like him and Miles Sanders are ranked like they're not starters in Dynasty right now. They're like running back 25, 26. And obviously, you all know, like I made that video recently about how he might be a third-year breakout because I made a video, put a lot of work into it, but never worked. No, that's the thing. Like third-year breakouts, a wide receiver were never a thing. Like it's a hit rate group, don't get me wrong. So last year, the majority of hits actually happened. But like it's not more common than second year. Second year is by far the most common, especially for top 24 and even top 12, to be honest. But if you're looking for something that is third year, and the breakout we see in any random season most commonly is a second-year wide receiver breaking out. Like that's the most common. Second to that is a running back breaking out in tied round in year 2 or year 3. It's actually pretty similar, the rate at which we see that happen in any given random season. So if you're looking for a third-year breakout, like a third-year running back breaking out, something we see pretty much every season, like 60% of seasons, and it is a higher hit rate group than year 4, 5, 6, like wide receiver. So that's the way I went with it.
It's almost like if you pay attention and look into things, you learn things.
It's weird. It's something I'm trying. I don't know if it'll catch on.
I'm glad someone else is, because I wouldn't do it. But
that'll never work.
I think this idea of seeing what happens and then thinking that might happen more often, rather than just kind of guessing or going with what we want to happen. I'm trying it out. We'll see how it goes. Jake, 12-team Superflex, Najee and Pickens for Lamar, Huntley, and a 23. Fourth,
I love it.
I'd take that. I like Lamar. You're getting a top 5 quarterback, a young quarterback, plus his backup.
Giving up quarterback.
I'd do that.
Love it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I want Najee, and I've got other good, decent quarterbacks, I don't hate it. But yeah, it's on my side, like 9 times out of 10 here.
And Jackson, when healthy, is again one of those difference-making quarterbacks.
How's it going, Lamb?
They were sitting in the chat waiting for us to get here, so they started talking.
That's true. He was talking to Lamb. Oh, I thought he was talking about CD Lamb. I mean,
or maybe how was your dinner? Like, did you eat lamb for dinner?
On football, I am. I mean, he could be talking to someone we can't see. Joel A. Deontay Johnson, a 23-second for AJ Dillon and DJ Moore.
The second side of that.
Yeah, the Moore side, right?
Yep.
AJ Dillon is that other third-year running back, by the way. So.
Is AJ Dillon more a first?
He's close. He's probably like between a first and a second, which is a weird thing.
Yeah,
but that's
like,
where
you
he's
don't want
at.
to sell him for a second, but you don't want to give up a first for him because, like, I like Deontay more than DJ Moore. But if you told me they were swappable, I'd believe that. And to me, a 23-second for Dillon right now is probably right, even though there's a very good chance he should be worth more than that.
I think you get more for Dillon later, and you're definitely going to get more production this year out of Dillon than you're going to get for the 23 second.
Yeah, but there's a lot of safety in that second. I get it.
I like the Dillon and Moore side. I like that's
I think
the
it's
side
even enough. So whatever makes you happy.
Yep.
I think this is a way of getting AJ Dillon since you can't pay a first and no one will trade him for a second. I get it. And also, by the weird wonder of reverse aging, somehow DJ Moore is younger than Deontay Johnson. So it's like, it adds to that value side a little bit. I think he is. It feels like he is. He's probably like, DJ Moore's probably like 18 years old. He's Benjamin Buttoning, I think.
Yeah,
sleeps in a
DJ Moore is still
tank.
younger than everyone else.
Yeah. Barkley, 204 and 24 second, or A Jones, just a random Jones.
No, A Jones, yes. Pick one.
And a 23 first. Pick A Jones. Barkley's side for me, I think.
I'll take Jones in the first.
Yeah, it's
look.
I get it.
Would I be surprised if Barkley walked in next season completely healthy on what is hopefully a more creative offense and was a top 3 producing running back? I wouldn't be surprised. I still believe in Saquon Barkley, but Aaron Jones
is a top 12 running back. I will, I like that.
The Packers with those wide receivers and then the gold of a 23 first. I don't think the production will be that different between those two for at least this coming year, that I'll just take the first and figure next year if Aaron Jones is on a new team or whatever, because he got extended at some point or re-signed. I can't remember what his contract is.
No, Jones is gold to trade for, but this is hefty. Like if Barkley's healthy and does that, as I think he will, it's just 2022 is coming up. All right, I'm just gonna start saying things are gonna happen, even though I have no idea. Barkley's gonna do that, and the difference between that top 3 running back and a top 12 running back is substantial. Like it's the difference for me.
Yes.
And while the 2023 is the kitnet of fantasy right now, like because it's so attractive, that's how you can get this done. Like if 23 wasn't so hyped, this doesn't look good to people. Like, and if you're trying to win, like I don't mind teasing it. You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes. Go ahead.
I think that I like this for the Aaron Jones side as a way to keep the points and then kick the can down the road. That's where, I mean, if you in a vacuum, it's obviously Barkley over Jones, but I think that they score similarly this year. Plus, you get that 23 first. DJ Moore is 8 months younger than Deontay Johnson, by the way.
That is not
surprising. Look at that.
Throwing that out there, yeah.
Got it.
Sleeps in a back to tank.
Like I believe DJ Moore was still younger than a couple of the rookie wide receivers that came.
I'm pretty sure he is.
What's Velus Jones? He's definitely younger than
for sure. Pretty sure he's somehow younger than his own son. I don't even know if he has a son, to be clear. He's just forever 23 years old. That's the rule.
Amari was forever also for a very long time.
I think he's still 24 as well. I'm going to be honest with you. I keep very bad track of that kind of thing. I think he's 24. BJ Lee, 1 QB 12 team.
I mean, that does take the 23 first value down a little bit.
Oh, is that the one we were
with that?
Yeah. This one.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still think. I mean, I still think.
I still stick with everything I said, but that does make it a little less fun.
Yeah. Silence and Lamb. He's talking back to Jake now, so we should probably just let them.
Wait, they were serious about that golf thing?
Yeah, we're going heads up against Brady, Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and somebody else. Josh Allen. Sorry, Josh Allen. I don't want to.
Shit, guys, I gotta go. I mean, not related to anything we just talked about.
I don't know what this is. So. Does it make Mahomes dynasty value more than Allen if he's a better golfer? Yes.
You use whatever tiebreakers you want. Like one time, someone I forgot what it was. They said some really bad food take, and I'm just like, QB.
So Mahomes and the ketchup.
I'm out.
Mahomes and the ketchup on everything.
Oh, that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
sorry.
He just rocketed up there to the one for me. I agree with that. I'm a smoker, and that's the thing. Not to bore you all, but I have quit several times with smoking, and food doesn't taste good. It's too strong. I miss liking ketchup when I quit smoking. Because when I'm smoking, you put it all on everything and food tastes great. And then when you stop smoking, you taste everything, and ketchup is way too much. So I understand it as you non-smokers. But if you're a smoker, it's got to be.
Ketchup is
not
Not great.
It's great. It's awesome. It literally made it's the best.
Trying to think of ketchup is for hamburgers, hot dogs, and chicken nuggets. I think that's the only thing that I use ketchup for.
That's what mustard is for. Come on, be real.
Hot dogs. I wouldn't put them on the other one.
We should.
Now, how obnoxious is it when you order McDonald's from like one of the food ordering places, like the DoorDash and stuff? You can choose honey packet for the sauce for nuggets, which is wonderful. If you haven't tried McNuggets with honey, go do that. But it's like they think you made a mistake and they give you honey mustard. It's like, no, I knew what I was doing.
We don't have that.
I was having honey on chicken nuggets in the 80s when Peter could have been smoking in the restaurant next to me. Yeah,
right. And I don't have DoorDash or any of those things. Like, we don't even have Uber. Like, I get by context most of the references to all this great service and technology that we've built, but like we don't have any of that. We don't even have takeout pizza. You have to go get it still.
That's the worst.
We don't even have delivery. No.
I just found one good thing about New Jersey compared to another state.
Ain't no one climbing the mountain and fighting the bears to bring you a pizza. You got to do it yourself. That's where we live.
No, the bears come down into the suburbs in New Jersey and just like walk through backyards.
That's fair. I've seen those videos. They're pretty. We're getting off the point. BJ Lee, without looking it up, who he play for? DJ Turner.
Is that a football player?
I don't know. I guess not. I don't know him.
Did you skip the Elijah Moore and Bateman? Yeah.
No, we're going back to that. That's
okay.
Gun. Najee for Bateman and Elijah Moore. I want Najee.
Yeah, I'll take Najee there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. It's pretty close, but I think it's the two nickels for a dime. Like, I think I'd rather have Najee.
Let's call it $200 bills for a $200 bill. You know?
Yeah, because not like
they're all good things. I like them.
I live in Maine, Peter, so we only have nickels and dimes. I'm sorry.
Oh,
they don't have those fancy $200 bills you have.
No, we're about 60 years behind whatever the time is in the rest of the country. So
that's
yeah. We just got Bob Dylan just
must be nice.
Bob Dylan just dropped his self-titled album last week. It was great.
No, I was going to say, in our post office, there's literally a picture of what the downtown crossroads looks like 30 years ago, and it's got a cart and a horse-drawn cart on it, and it's
but all the same buildings.
That's where I live. Yeah, but with a few extra added around it. That's about it. It's like, we live in the past. It's pretty cool, so in some ways. BJ Lee, without looking at it, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Gavin Grant, PPR 1 QB, start 9. Give Pittman, Devontae Smith, or a 23 first and a 23 first for Jefferson. Jefferson side for me, please. Especially in start 9.
Like, I get your starting 9, which isn't a lot, regardless of how many teams you have in your league, but I like Pittman. And that's a lot. Value-wise, I get it. It's 3 firsts.
You throw a first for 2023 in there, and Outhouse is like, I'm going to find a way to try and say yes to this side.
No, the thing is, like, it's one of those things where, like, if this was sent to me, where someone is trying to send me Justin Jefferson for Pittman, Smith, and the first, I would stare at it and be like, why am I being stupid? I should take this and just take Justin Jefferson. But it would take me a minute to get past it.
Take you a minute. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'd be on the Jefferson side, I think. Especially start 9 and 1 quarterback. Like, those two things kind of resonate because you want
that makes the first a little less.
In that start 9, you're consolidating assets. You want the bulls of the wood, and then in 1 quarterback, it devalues that 23 first just a little bit. Again, because the show that I've had in the chamber for 2 weeks now is identifying classes and what it means to identify a good class. And part of what we do is superflex versus non-superflex, because a good class in superflex is different than a good class in non-superflex, because in a superflex class, you're looking at, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks who have potential to be, viable starters. probably only 2 of them will end up being viable starters. But so it's a different thing with a one quarterback.
Yeah,
I still think I used to frame rookie classes as running back or wide receiver classes, and I still think there's an element of that too. Like sometimes
Absolutely.
running backs are going to be but it's a little more obscure than the quarterbacks, like opaque, not opaque, whatever the word is. I'm thinking of. Like sometimes you have a little bit of both. It's awkward,
right?
Steven, Mike Evans or David Montgomery? Mike Evans.
Evans in the startup, yeah.
Evans, like solid Evans. Like not question.
And I like Montgomery, but
he's okay.
It's still Evans.
Top 24 rank back.
1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Big guy runs the ball. Who cares? Whatever.
No, I mean
he's good. No, he's good.
I
like him. I like him at his value.
Evans was the 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns.
And I like Montgomery, like as a value. But here's the thing: Mike Evans is also falling at the as a value right now in Dynasty, and the wide receiver typically beats the running back in that. If all else is equal for me, BJ Lee, Peter, who he play for? DJ Turner.
I looked it up and cheated. I've never heard of this guy before.
Okay, cool. Who did he play for?
He's on the Raiders.
Oh, cool. That's like the third time
they're really trying to get her.
Specifically me, and that was my answer. 12-team, 1 QB, McLaurin, Walker, or Fournette, Jameson, and Sky. This is just a list of players at this point.
That's pretty easily Lenny, Jameson, and Sky, right?
I would, because you got 2 shots. Yeah. I would. I think that's the way I would go. I
think Fournette's one who could be a big deal in 2022. Jameson,
even if you're rebuilding, you take
versus McLaurin.
You take the Fournette, Jameson, and Sky side, and then you'll be able to sell Fournette for at least a solid second, or that value of, and that's great.
I think people right now are still overrating Kenneth Walker's value in fantasy.
Very much. In fact, even more so as we get close to the season, and he's going to be a starting running back. And honestly, all the tea, like he's going to be a rushing man's running back on the Seahawks.
Not to say that he's not good, because he's a good runner, but I think that we've jumped the shark a little bit on it.
Bad offensive.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, we think we've had this conversation through evaluation, the receiving conversation, and fairly put it out. And then the redraft content's going to come out, and it's going to be fucking nerds don't like him because he runs the ball good, and DFS commentators who can't do rookies for shit. I'm sorry. I try not to swear or slander whole segments of the society, but every time DFS gets involved in rookies, I feel like telling them just to maybe don't. You're great at so many things, so much better at me than everything, but even I feel like I have a handle on things when I listen to DFS rookie content. Like they should just stop. And they'll get a hold of Walker, and he'll be a starter week 1 because of his value, and he's only being projected as like a $6,000 player or whatever the numbers are in that game, and he's going to go through the roof. So I get Walker's got some upside there, but we haven't even faced that bump yet.
Points per carry, he'll be worth something just because they'll run the ball and they'll give him to run the ball. But I think
we think he's a good player. We think he's great.
Yeah, but it's not a great situation in Seattle right now.
You think? Gavin Grant, do you guys have 1 or 2 leagues that you use to just test out?
I have 10 of them.
I mean, he has an industry.
He has the trade addicts leagues. This is a great question, Gavin, to have Russ on to answer, because he's got his trade addicts leagues that he's got 10 of. So.
Okay, so the answer to
I would recommend to a new player, before we get into the seriousness that is Russ. Yeah, I would join for fun leagues that are free on Flea Flicker. Try it, test it out. Test out everything. Test out nothing. Just have fun, get in the group chats. Like, you don't even have to do more than that. Fantasy is whatever form you want. So you don't have to be joining big money leagues or nothing. I literally just play in leagues I find fun with people I like. That's
wait.
the fantasy
Joe,
I play.
Cover your ears for a second. Don't join big money leagues. Okay, you can.
Hey, Gavin, also, I would advocate, if you're a new player, listen to Trade Addicts. And I know there's a DLF stream, but you should listen to Trade Addicts, the podcast. You should listen to Dynasty Trades HQ. You should be in chats like this, where people are asking trade questions and other people are answering trade questions. Oftentimes you see it crowdsourced too. So like you may ask a question, Gavin, and you'll get 3 or 4 answers in the chat while Peter and Russ and I are answering. All of those things will make you better at trading and kind of get the feel of it. And for me, so Russ doesn't have this part of it because Russ is a great trader, and since I've known him, he's been a fantastic trader in Dynasty, and that's what he does. I was awful. I
still am
terrible when I started. And to get better, I did all of these things that I am telling you to do. Is listen to people who are good traders, listen to what they do, listen to how they operate, listen to how they think about trading. One of the greatest things that I've ever heard came out of Russ's mouth, and he talked about cascading trades. And he talked about never thinking about a trade as its own, single cell organism. It's now a part of another trade, or can be. So when you make a trade, it's not the end of the line. It's just a stop along the way, and you can keep going and make that trade become what you want it to be. And so that's my advice. Yes, get in leagues and do it in practice, but the theory is what's the most important part of it.
Yeah, I would reiterate all of that. And also I would start, like everyone should start there. Don't just join leagues with good play. You're not going to get some of it. You learn by failing. So fail as much as you can. And like, there's so much that I'm learning right now about fantasy football. And the reason I don't have test leagues is because at this point, I'm not testing stuff. I might, like John Bosch was doing on your podcast, where I think something. So I'll say I try it out in my league, but it's not based like I don't know anything about fantasy football. I'm testing out how trades work. I think their value is about here. And so I'll try out that trade on a team, or I'll try out that team. But it's not like I'm expecting to bomb this league or anything. I try out things. But literally what I say to do, I do. Like if my takes aren't working, then I'm losing all my leagues. Like there's no testing things out in that sense. But the more and more I play in the leagues that we're playing in now, the more I recognize how much I'm glad I went through that period of just playing for fun and having 50 leagues on Flea Flicker and forgetting I own half of them. Because like there's lessons to be learned in the difference between that and then what I've heard Russ call an engaged league. Like it's hard to really articulate some of that, but it's not like things change. It's like the value dries up. And you have to go in and out on every single thing, every move that you make, and know how to make up. It's hard to articulate. But like if you play in a whole bunch of leagues where people are just playing for fun and are less what we're calling engaged right now, then you'll like I traded Andre Johnson for like 2 first-round picks in a league. That would in his last year with the Colts. Like that doesn't happen. That kind of trade never happens in any of our leagues. But I understand so much more of the value going on in my leagues because I've been in leagues where people are willing to do that and don't understand why it's a bad idea because he's Andre Johnson and he could be great. So, yeah, and honestly, not to throw shade at the whole company who's never contacted me, but Flea Flicker is so great for that. I know we're MFL friendly, like all my leagues are on my fantasy league. But like the community is pretty lit from what I remember. The little message board, and you can join leagues so easy, and it's all free. And they're very simplified. I love the user interface compared to my fantasy league. It's gold. And I've honestly contacted their Twitter account. I even got in their help section and found an email and was like, could you please reach out to me? I want to retweet stuff to get our community on Flea Flicker more. And I know we're playing on it, but I'm trying to get them to engage in our little community. And I've literally never received anything. But it's so easy to get into fantasy football, Flea Flicker rather than my fantasy league or even Sleeper, honestly. Especially if you're using a desktop, Sleeper might be better on a mobile. But I would highly recommend just getting in there because honestly, you'll meet people that are better or worse. You can join 20 leagues really quickly and see a whole bunch of different leagues play out over time. And you can understand the difference of what someone like me, Russ, and Zach will say on this podcast. And then, in your league, that's you don't have to be like you were saying on, again, that podcast recently, Russ, where you just hear about trades happening that would just, that's insane. No one would ever do that. And you have to go through that, personally, to get better. And also to have fun. Now, Russ has set up an entire industry around trade addicts leagues, which is secretly just him wanting to trade more often and test things. So that's why we were waiting on Russ. That's
I was letting you guys talk.
That's his thing.
I wouldn't recommend joining free leagues. They just
okay.
It's not real. It's just
fun.
Like, I think in free leagues is where you'll find those people that it goes beyond willing to do fun things, but then it turns into willing to do whatever and then stop paying attention, and it gets awful. Find $25.
People that drop their whole roster because they get mad and there's no punishment. But that's where you get those fun stories from, Russ.
Oh yeah, I mean, more power to you. I mean, it's free. Who gives a shit? But like, the Trade Addicts leagues are $42, and that's only because we donate to charity. They would have been cheaper otherwise, but they're cheap for the pure purpose, and they're very vanilla leagues, 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, tight end premium. Like, that's it. There's nothing special about them. And that is because I wanted to make it easy for trades. There's no weight really on anything so specific that it makes it harder to evaluate position versus position. But it's that being so cheap and being so easy to value players in, it makes people try things they wouldn't normally do. So, which is why I laughed and said I have 10, because it really is more for the fun of it. Like, winning's awesome. You do win money, but really the Trade Addicts leagues, I tell everyone before I let them in, I'm like, this league is for fun. This league is to do stuff you wouldn't normally do. And if you're gonna say like winning is fun, then this is not for you. I kind of don't want you here, though I've never said that, though I really want to. But
active leagues are good too, because you can execute. Like, if you mess up, you can actually rebuild. Like, rebuilding is fine until you're in a free league where everyone stops paying attention by week 3 and you can't get responses, let alone trades done. So yeah.
So would I join leagues just to test out strategies? No. When I start a new league, I sometimes try and tell myself I want to build this team differently. Like, we started the DLF podcast league last year, and I told myself I'm going to try and make a team with running backs. Like, I'm going to try and build around running backs. And it almost immediately abandoned that season. And then I couldn't take it anymore, and I built the team I liked. So like, you try things you don't normally do. If it works, cool. If not, you just have another team where you end up doing the same stuff you normally do. It's whether it's through multiple leagues or just a couple of years, it's repetition. It's just going and going. And, while you're at it, the Dynasty Trade Calculator podcast and Dynasty Wall Street on the Dynasty Trade Calculator podcast feed. If we're just throwing out podcasts that Russell hosts. Oh, maybe the DLF trade show on the YouTube DLF.
Maybe channel. The Dynasty Crossroads. No one ever mentions my damn podcast. No, I was actually going to recommend. The other way of doing it is finding good commissioners. Russ is one. I really recommend the Trade Addicts League. Scott's obviously one. Scott Fish, who everyone knows. And Scott Fish maintains a page where he has a list of leagues that are available. And you can do the buy-in, and they're active with good owners. And some of those buy-ins aren't crazy high. They're literally just the league fees, mostly, like the Trade Addicts Leagues. So I'd recommend checking those out on Safe Leagues as well. Or, follow John Bosch, but be real careful if you're going to sign up for a John Bosch league.
No.
You got to vet that sign-up form. Like, make sure you're ready, because you're not.
Once you don't say for a newer player, then you start looking at John Bosch leagues. Because
if John would just manage some.
Oh, they're awesome. They're
leagues,
so much
he'd
fun.
Be great. He's such a great commissioner, but he's like, let's go insane with this. Why don't we? Let's not, John.
I love it.
But yeah. Tim Shady says, evening, Joe.
Hey, Tim.
Appreciate that. FF Briefcase, happy birthday,
Jay.
Russ. Appreciate that. FF
I got to right back to. I got caught up in a Caleb medical situation and lost touch with Jay. We're going out for burgers, Jay. Let's do this.
I'm coming.
Right. Andrew Carlson. Wow, I can't get rid of Sammy Watkins.
All right, so I'm going to momentarily kick someone out of one of my TA leagues, bring you in. You trade me Sammy Watkins, and sorry, bud, you're out.
Bring Gavin and Andrew in as co-owners, and that would solve the problem.
I'll start looking to see who I can kick out.
I will
Actually,
say
2
the
of
one
those are
trade
Rockets,
addict
so
league.
he has plenty of teams. I'll kick him out.
I will say I got in a trade addicts league. I don't know how. It's actually really hard to get into him. Russ refuses to add leagues.
I'm not in one.
It's ridiculous. It's really hard to get in. But I immediately made a whole bunch of trades, and my team sucks now. But I did get great. I tried things out, I will say. But I get to experiment rebuilding now, so that's fun. Tim Shady, any reason to try to trade for a tight end outsider? Kelsey Pitts? Nope. Unless they're unheard of, and they might be, as value rises, there's a few that might become top 12, but most of the time, no. Unless they're already that guy, no.
I mean, I would be good adding Schultz and Goddard to that list, not because they are going to score what the rest of those guys are, but to me, they are that tier down. Maybe put Freiermuth, though I would like to see it with whatever that offense is going to be this year. They feel consistent enough for me to be okay trading for them. But once you get past that, it's really Fant is going to be good. I'm going to trade for Fant. And then you're right or you're wrong, and whatever happens after that. But if you are trading for tight ends for value or production, it's these guys.
And most of the time, good is what Fant does. It's what Gesicki does for cheaper because no one likes it, but that's mostly the ceiling. Occasionally, you do catch a window. There was a window there with Kelsey because it took him a while, but that was fine.
And it's back because he's old.
There might be a window here on Freiermuth right now. I think getting to be one of those guys is really outside the ROI, but it's not impossible. And right now he's a top 12 tight end that people have got bored with almost. He's not mentioned a lot. There might be, depending on your league, there might be a slight window.
Freiermuth. Okay, yeah.
No, but outside of that, it's the cheap guys. It's Hunter Henry. He's still same outcome as most that get into the top 12 that have that startability, but people give up and they get tired of it, like Gesicki. So yeah, I'm never normally trading for them, but you do catch windows sometimes. Andrews was perilously undervalued when he first came into the league for reasons that I honestly still don't understand. Everyone knew the head
so efficiency based. I was always terrified of him.
It was silly.
It was too much efficiency.
But we did catch a window, so you just kind of wait. Pitts right now feels. I know we've got John Bosch and Bob Gilchrist, so this can never be true, but it feels like no one recognizes that it happened because he didn't catch touchdowns. It's yeah, but he got 1,000 yards. That's weird. He already hit, but we didn't feel it quite as well. Evan Ingram was my comparison, and I still make that joke, but he got 700 yards his first year.
I mean, I don't know how much we're undervalued. This is not to say you're wrong, Peter, but Pitts is going at the beginning of the second round as the tight end 1 in ADP.
No, but that's the thing. That's where he. This was what I was worried about in his first year. They could do well, and his value didn't escalate. Because remember, this time last year, he was trading for this value. But the fact he still is, and you've gotten that first season out the way, you've seen him elevate, that to me is a bit of that neutral value is the benefit of not buying in year one. If you know what I mean. You can still get him for the same value, and he's hit.
Well, but that
got him for Breece Hall in the 23 first.
That was the value of getting him in the rookie draft that year. We came on and did a podcast.
That's fair. That's what we said. Yeah.
I don't like taking tight ends in the first round of rookie drafts. Pitts being the exception because he was already the tight end 1.
That's
when you were in your rookie draft, so you might as well take him. And then if you want to trade him, go ahead. And if you don't, then that's fine too.
But it feels like you're
Tim,
right,
the guys that I'd be kicking the tires on are Zach Ertz, who's going outside of the top 12 tight ends. Is probably going to be a top 6 or 7 or 8 tight end. And then the other one that I would look at is Robert Tonyan.
Yes.
Don't hate it.
Just because what the heck does Green Bay's offense look like? And Tonyan caught a bunch of touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers. Well,
he's the only big-bodied guy there now.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is not there to catch that slant. So it's guys like that. But No, I'm not going to go like pay to get a tight end.
Yeah. This is the list of players I normally end up targeting, but I do wait for windows on the big name. Those are the ones you want ultimately. So you look at your test the league. Kittle right now, he's a little undervalued, but it depends on your league. What trade can you get? But that's who you want. Outside of that, it's a Hunter Henry, it's a Zach Ertz. It's I think Evan Ingram's still gonna have a 20% target share if he can catch the ball anymore. I don't know, but he's still on that list of it's fine and cheap and fine. Julian, for a contending team, would you rather have Cup, Diggs, or Adams? Cup.
The one who scored 100 points more than any other receiver last year.
Which you won't do this year, and it doesn't matter.
But he'll be good.
Don't hate the other two at all. But the thing is, Cup might be. He's not the most expensive out of the three of those. I think Diggs. I do
kind of hate Adams in Dynasty. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, in Dynasty, yeah.
Like Diggs, there's no real reason to expect him to not be Diggs.
No, he'll be
still.
Good. Yeah.
Adams has experienced a change. I think it's a worse situation, and that's the thing with this team old guys. Like, you need the points, and I cannot sustain a down year. Like, I want the points this year, or it's not good. And he's the one on the team old guy list. I'm like, I might not get the points this year, which means I'm not sure I'm in. Kind of out. Just saying. I'm just starting to fight with Russ. On his birthday. Happy birthday, Russ.
Oh, this one is right up my alley. It's chicken and waffles for me because I'm not a red sauce guy.
It's such a mood. Those are two different moods.
Hit me with chicken and waffles. I want the sweet. I want the savory. Yes.
It is. There is such thing as a bad chicken parm. I've yet to meet a bad chicken and waffle. But a good chicken parm is one of the best things ever.
No strong opinions. I'd eat both. It both sounds great to me.
Oh, yes. And I just give me the chicken parm and like waffle, and I'm good.
I put ketchup in honey on it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It's just going to taste like ketchup. It's fine. Man, 12 team 1 QB, half point PPR in a rebuild. Traded Eckler.
Is it an Excel formula or something? What's going on?
Yeah. I got this. I've trained my whole life. Okay. Eckler plus 223 seconds for Jameis Williams and a 23 first. It's a first side. Feel pretty good about it. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, in a rebuild.
Yeah.
Eckler should be good again, but
yeah. Eckler's awesome, but if you're rebuilding, you don't want that on your team.
By the time the season ends, you don't care anymore. So, and that's where you're at. So definitely, J Casp is how I'm saying that. With the sun or the moon personified, huh?
I'm going to say the moon pretty easily because I would not be able to handle the energy of the personified sun.
Yeah, I'm going to say it almost feels like a day person or a night person question. Like the sun's going to be up. Crack a dawn. Like, let's do stuff, buddy. And like, nah.
This is a podcast that starts at 9:30 and goes until whenever we're done. It's the moon. Although the sun has got the 2 scoops of raisins for your raisin brand, so that might be all right.
And they're sugar-covered raisins, so even better.
Again, you just put ketchup on it. It just tastes like ketchup, so I don't really...
I'm about to flip my effing desk.
Russ,
cereal, you've gone too far.
I don't understand.
Why is Deontay's value dropping? The answer is because it is non-point scoring season. People have forgotten that he's good.
Because he's a slot just that. He's a possession receiver guy. Yeah. He's not your ex. And
that's what you
if he
want.
is, if you dated Deontay Johnson, then good for you, I guess. But he's not an X receiver. He's on an offense that's going to be weird because it went from decrepit Ben Roethlisberger to either Trubisky or a rookie who no one's super thrilled about. That's the only reason. Those are the 2 reasons Deontay Johnson's value is dropping. But just go get him.
I think there's another one, and that's Terry McLaurin is another victim of this. They're older players that came out a little older, and they broke out a little later, which means they always feel a little old. It doesn't matter, but we don't like our age in Dynasty.
He's not even 26 yet.
No, he's 25 though, and everyone wants 24 or younger. That's
he's also 3 years in, right?
Like he just broke out and he's already 25. It feels. I know it's stupid, but that's what it is.
Never bothered me with Calvin.
The same thing. Russ is going to love this. Traded Devontae Smith, Elijah Moore, Stevenson, Fields, and 223 seconds for Higgins, Godwin, Ridder, 1 QB. I like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You got hashtag Team Clemson big wide receiver, a Penn State pass catcher, and whatever is a quarterback in 1 QB for okay. I mean, I like Devonta Smith. I like Elijah Moore, but Higgins and Godwin, so easy.
Patrick just came by to make Russ's birthday a little better.
Gold.
That's awesome. Andrew Carlson, is Mike Williams a buy or sell for you guys? I have him on my team, but I'm not sure if I should be getting out. What is a reasonable selling price? Well, the answer to the first question is what's the trade? That's kind of a go-to. Me personally, I'm probably more willing to trade Mike Williams away than I am trade for him. He's got a really high redraft rank, though. So it's really interesting. It's like wide receiver 17 in redraft. Like people are expecting stuff.
It's worth it to just hold on because you're probably not even going to get a second for him. Like you're going to have to go like Mike Williams in the third and hope to get a second. And it's just like whatever at that point, because if you're trying to score points, there's a chance they figured something out. If he can stay healthy between, he's not going to be what he was that 5-game stretch. But if they can find the happy medium between the 5-game stretch and those times where he was going 2 for 20 for 4 games, and he turns into a solid wide receiver too, which it's a very good offense with a very good quarterback. I don't think there's a reason they can't figure that out. Then it's just going to be worth scoring the points more than whatever dynasty value you'll get.
As a rough guy, if you can trade him for Josh Palmer in a second. Yeah, I'm kind of really interested in that kind of trade for Mike Williams, but like Russ says, that kind of value is probably pretty hard to come by. But again, some people really like him this year. I'm just saying. I think
Mike Williams, depending on your team, Andrew, if Mike Williams is like your wide receiver 3 or like a flex play, that is absolutely the kind of player I want in my wide receiver 3 or flex play, because he can go off for 100 yards and a touchdown in any given week. Even when he's not playing well. I mean, even outside of those first 4 weeks that he was really good, he had another couple of weeks where he had either 100 yards or 100 yards and a touchdown. Like he's not a bad boom player.
He's got Herbert and he's got Keenan Allen also helping to make the team better. He's got Austin Eckler. I mean, he's on a great team, great situation, and the man can play. He can put up points. So, yeah I don't mind that idea at all. The rest disappeared for a second. I seem to go eat some birthday cake. What can I sell DK for, though? Oh, I didn't know we were already in the middle of this conversation, Patrick. A lot, actually. In Dynasty, he should be worth a lot. He's one of those 24-year-old guys who people value because of his age and the fact he looks great with his shirt on. And if you can't, you keep him because he is one of those guys. My value is around 2 first plus is what I'm kind of looking for to move DK. Otherwise, I'm holding him. Just to give you a random kind of value estimation.
He's still like right on that cusp of top 10 wide receivers. I'd say probably most people have him somewhere between like wide receiver 7 and 12. I mean, somewhere in that range. So top 10. And so that's what you should be looking for. You might be able to do something like Diggs in a second.
I was going to go, because Diggs in a second is a good one, but I was thinking even like Devontae Smith and a first, because that's around 2 first plus, and Diggs is higher and Smith is lower, but you also get the youth. But yeah, I like that trade too. Depends which way you want to go. Elijah Moore. Everyone hates Elijah Moore now. Brandon Ayuk. I really think he's one of those guys that have fallen into that range.
Even like DJ Moore plus a pick would be fun. Because people have that idea that DJ Moore has been around the league for a while, so he's older, but he's really 25 and
he's really younger than DK.
Probably. Yeah, and obviously DK's ceiling is higher, but if you're getting something on top of DJ Moore or like I said, if you can get Diggs in a second for DK, like you're happy with that.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson? I'm taking the Moore side. I take the guy who's done it.
I
kind of want to sell all Jets.
I think Garrett Wilson is a better player.
Okay,
but I think you're tied to a quarterback who is not very good, in spite of all the hype, in spite of Debro.
I kind of want
Derek Brown.
I kind of want to sell all Jets.
I don't think Zach Wilson is going to sustain enough offense to make you happy. But it's Garrett Wilson.
I'm willing to hope that the weapons are good enough to elevate the quarterback enough to make it a good enough offense for fantasy. And that defense is bad enough that they're going to be on the field a lot.
You're hoping to Goff one.
See, we're all that's the thing. Fantasy football is just another extension of fans. And once you realize that most misses you make are just allowing yourself to hope for a thing, you just rip your heart out your chest, replace it with a cold computer, and you're like, I'm just not going to hope, and therefore I'll miss less. And that's what I'm
to paraphrase my father.
It takes hope. I don't want it.
Hope in one hand and Zach Wilson in the other, and see which one fills up faster.
There you go. What would you trade for Tom Brady? If I'm content, actually in Superflex, contending or not, like I'm just going to go for the points there. In Dynasty, obviously, he's valued a lot less because he's old, and you're only probably going to get one season. So I'd trade a second for him, and most people would take that if they're not competing. And I'd love it.
Man, if I'm competing, I'll trade my first. It's worth it for the point.
Yeah. I don't think you got him in Dynasty, but yeah, that's fine.
It depends because if I've seen him go for a late second during the draft, but also I've seen people realize what they're doing in trading Tom Brady away. Like, you are giving someone an advantage, and that is worth paying for. So some people will hold out. They're like, fine, I'm fine with letting him retire on my roster, but if you want to win, you give me that late first. And honestly, I would pay it.
And
I've got Aaron Rodgers on rosters, and what the ones I get where I'm like, I understand, but I'm going the opposite way as we're talking about. I'm going for the points. And I get like Carson Wentz plus a wide receiver I might like, or Carson Wentz plus a second, or they package up Carson Wentz and Sam Darnold, just trying to get me with a quarterback who's younger and something. I don't do that, but that's the kind of trade you can do for Tom Brady if you're looking for that upside.
Well, yeah, and that's look at the team that has Tom Brady on his or her roster, Paul, and
see what they might need.
Yeah, try to make a trade that fits that. It's like Peter's saying, his teams are going for the points, and so it doesn't make sense for him to give up Tom Brady to get Wentz and a pick because he's trying to score, and Brady's going to outscore Wentz this year. If you're trading with a team that doesn't have much outside of Brady, then giving them younger assets is going to be the answer.
Michael, startup 12-team tight end premium. Doesn't matter, but thanks for telling me. I was receiving the right side of these trades. Okay, there are several here. Warm up a bit.
But some of it is then on the top, Peter. No, sorry. Keep going.
203 plus 603 versus a 209, the 501, and that's the end of that trade.
Shrug.
So 203 for
5 spots to move up a full round. Yeah.
Take that side. 209 plus a 1203 for the 503 and the 23 first. I think I take the first side there. That's a significant drop, but yeah.
You're dropping down
quarterback. I'm assuming because he didn't say superflex, right? I mean, that's a fall 2 from the 5th. 12th is absolutely nothing. So yeah, first I'll take the first side.
It's an interesting one.
It's a good one.
So I'm trying to pull up ADP. I'm trying to figure out what's in the 5th round and is it a significant enough drop. Let's see. Let's just take a look. 2nd round: Breece Hall, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Eckler, Barkley, Diggs, Joe Mixon. Mark Andrews, Deontay. Pretty good round. And in round 5, you've got Cooper, Elijah Moore, Marcus Brown, Justin Herbert, 1 QB. Jerry Jeudy, Jameis Williams, Keenan Allen, Leonard Fournette. It's a significant drop.
But Peter, can I give you context? Can we say it's the 209 and the 1203 for a 503 and a somewhere between a 3rd and a 5th round pick? So you basically got into the 5th round twice at minimum with it, because the 23 first is going to be somewhere between the 3rd and 5th round of startups, I think.
Probably, easily. So it's like Diggs for Marcus Brown and Elijah Moore.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is you traded 209 and 1203 to get into the 5th round twice.
Yeah.
So you moved back 3 rounds, but you moved up 7 rounds.
Yeah, I'd take the first side. It's closer. And let's see, the 501 for the 1310 and the 1310 for a 23 second and a 605. No.
So you moved back around for a 23 second and moved up from the 12 and 13, which means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Just not overly tempted with.
It's
Amon-Ra's in there. Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, that's fine.
And again, without knowing what the players are,
what's
it's
on the
hard
board,
to it's hard to tell.
710 for a 23 foot. Yeah, that's 23.
Yeah, do that. Yep.
Nice, you did good.
Free money.
You did good.
You did much better than all right.
Ricky Rice, cigarettes, ketchup greater than non-cigarette ketchup. I would agree.
Who the hell what was Heinz doing when they made cigarette ketchup?
I don't know.
That's
they're marketing purely to me, I think.
That was like the 46 flavor. They were like, yeah, whatever. We're running.
Whatever,
out of
man. We're too big to fail. Let's try it.
You had to do something weird to get to
I traded Stafford and Hines for Mahomes in a 12-team Superflex. Thoughts? I like it. I mean,
it's what you got to do to get Mahomes. It's honestly not bad to go get Mahomes.
Yeah.
So if you wanted
the Stafford and Higgins team is almost pushing to win, and the Mahomes side is going for value. Don't hate it.
I would take Stafford and Higgins.
Yep. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Russ. Happy birthday to you.
Bob, you're off key.
Bob has never been on key. So, BG Lee, where in Maine do you live? I don't.
Right here.
And
in the slightly south of Down East, north of Portland, south of Down East.
He's making stuff up. Don't listen to him. I don't know what that means. Those aren't.
There's no such thing as Down East. Mayday.
Don't listen to him.
12-team Superflex got offered Keenan Allen, Damian Harris for Marcus Brown, and Gallup. I think I'd take the
pretty
Brown
easily
side.
Marquise for me.
Yeah. I love Keenan Allen's value, and that ain't it. 2014-13 class are about to disappear. I like them
going nowhere
for less than this, but I love Keenan. But come on. BJ, he's talking to BJ. We don't have to talk about it. Hi, y'all. Hey, Lefty, how you doing? Joe! She's laughing.
Hey, Joe.
That's cool. Happy birthday, Russ. Gavin Grant, 16-team Superflex, rebuilding. What should I look for when trading away Saquon?
Just go get a quarterback. It'll be the only way you can get a quarterback, trading a stud running back. Without giving up a quarterback. That's anyone that starts.
And 16 team. Yeah. Yep.
Thoughts on Brevin Jordan?
I freaking love Brevin Jordan.
I know you do. It's weird. But okay.
Just put it out there.
I mean,
no, I liked him as a prospect. I thought he could be Gerald Everett.
He do pretty well,
and that's what he's being.
The price is right. I mean,
I like getting what I can get for him. I think he's Gerald
Everett.
What
do you get? I mean, he's what? Tight end, what, mid-20s? Like, what do you get for that? Like, whatever, take a shot on him if you like him.
I'm taking a second if Russ is in the league, you know? Oh, snap. Happy birthday, Russ, from FS.
Thank you.
Skull. Cam Akers or a 23 first?
I would take the first.
Random 23 first. Yeah, probably.
Yes, Peter. Yes, random.
I mean, Akers can do well, and his value could easily go
He'll
up.
be fine. It's gonna be good.
But chances are, Akers is gonna do okay, and you won't be able to get a first for him.
They're both a box, Peter. I'll take the younger box that I can pick which guy I get.
Yeah. Mystery box or mystery box that can't lose value for a year. I think.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Russ, from John.
Thank you.
This is my favorite show we've done. This is great watching Russ kind of squirm a little bit, but enjoy it at the same time. It's nice.
Joe says, hi, Peter and Zach. Oh, I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you very much.
Hey, Joe.
Gavin, I've been doing that cascading in my home league. I came on and mentioned that I traded Higgins, Duvernay in a third for Juju and Devontae. Then I traded Ayuk for Tony and Deontay.
Yeah.
Ayuk and Tony for Deontay is a great trade.
Yeah.
I ended it by trading Deontay for a 23 third for Higgins. Yeah, I like that a lot. And so I had Higgins, Juju, and Devontae by the end.
Those are three my guys.
You get it, Gavin.
Another one was giving Christian Watson, Carter, and a 23 third for Pittman and Foreman. Then turned around and traded Pittman, Deontay for a 20 and a 23 first for Jefferson. That's the one we talked about earlier.
That's the one. Cascading. That. You got it.
You got to cascade up to that top tier, man. Sorry. Bob. I've heard of him. This was hours ago, but trading is like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get. Yeah. I found the opposite. If you just keep going at it, I found stopping, slowing down, and taking a look back helped out a lot with trading. Less attached emotionally are to teams, the better. I find that to be true. Also, I had plenty of test leagues. Yeah, but Bob, that's just the kind of guy you are. So, I'm gonna go test this.
I especially like the less emotionally attached you are, the better. And the way to, if you are emotionally attached to your teams, the way to detach is to ask people's opinion about your trade, people that you trust. So like I have the DM with the DFPN at work. Yeah, the Outhouse Challenge, but I'm not ready to let go of that control yet. But like I will often ask, you guys in the DFPN chat and just say, hey, what do you think about this? And I've got Russ in there, I've got Joe in there, I've got Kyle in there, I've got Sal in there, I've got Kevin in there, did I mention Kyle? Whatever.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah. But like we've got all of those like really great minds, and they'll tell me. I ask you questions too, Peter, but then you're not part of the at-work, Peter. Come on.
I am not part of the at-work. I'm not.
But by asking people who are by definition detached from it, you get that point of view. So that's a way to do that, Bob. But I like that idea of making rational decisions because you can detach a little bit.
Find someone like John Bosch or Izzy,
John Bosch,
who just play
this game.
They don't have emotions. Yeah, they just default don't have emotions, so they're great.
It's so funny the fact that I podcast with both of them. I'm the exact opposite.
The way I do it is just remember, do the opposite of what every Star Wars movie ever told you to do, and in fact, remove all hope. That's how I get there personally. But I think asking is honestly the best way. Even if you don't get the answer you're looking for, your reaction often helps you gauge. And it's nice to test yourself, especially if people disagree. It's like you recognize the risk when someone knows what they're talking about. It's like, actually, that guy sucks. And you're like, oh, no.
I thought you were going to say try.
The
opposite of whatever.
First thing that came in my head, too.
do not try. Don't believe in yourself. No. Remove all hope. Stop believing in yourself and act accordingly. That's what I...
No, that's what the chat is there for, Gavin. That's what the chat is there for.
Yeah. There you go. Lefty gets it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Joe, how you doing? I'm only in 4 leagues now, moving up from 3. All high stakes, and I'm by far one of the most active traders in all of them.
You are a dangerous woman.
I think gambling trading comes from personality traits, in my opinion. I think, most of the things we do probably.
Psychology, baby. That's where we're at.
Yeah. That seems like a nice amount. He's talking to Joe, though, so I think we'll move off here. Dalton Schultz, baby. No.
100 targets.
102 or Deontay?
Deontay.
This year, Deontay. Yeah. Easy. Waiting for Russ to mention something about Drake London. Or no? Okay.
No, sorry,
Joel.
something just popped up in the middle of my screen, so I got very, very sidetracked.
Fair enough. Joel A. Update an earlier question. Deontay in a 23-second or 23rd something for Dylan and DJ Moore. Wait. Deontay in a 23-second and third. That's what he's trying to say.
AJ Dillon and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a first before. Now it's a second and a third. So
yeah.
No, it was no. He just added a third. That's all it was. Yeah. Thirds don't matter.
Yeah.
They don't.
If you're going to do a trade without the third, you do a trade with the third there. So whichever side you're on, it's still fun.
We were on the Moore side. We still are. John Cooper, I just bought DK for the 106 and the 205 in this class. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
That's the thing. I'm rebuilding, but couldn't pass it up. Like, you don't have to just buy picks if you're building. You look for value.
Got a young wide receiver, which is good. What you want to do when you rebuild. That's great. Yes.
What are each of your favorite trades that you three have made? We've answered this one. Well, we haven't answered the top three, but I don't think I have anything there.
Christian Kirk for Justin Ross. Okay. Trades that I've done today. Okay, this one made me sad because I traded away Brevin Jordan, but the full trade was Breece Hall, a 23 first from last year's playoff team, Brevin Jordan, and John Mechie for Kyle Pitts, and for some reason he felt the need to give me Traquan Smith. Like, I almost rejected it and sent it back without Traquan Smith coming to me. But I felt like pretty much Hall and a mid first next year was a good enough price for me to go get Pitts on my bad team. And it was one of those trades where I stood and I stared at it and I'm like, I feel like that's a lot. I feel like Hall, those gold 23 firsts. No, that's stupid. This is fine. I want to go get Pitts. This is fun. I'm going to go do that. Like, I literally, like, the comment was, F it. This sounds like fun. And I did it.
Yeah, I always end up hating all my trades. This thing, once you start getting closer to the value and understanding, I hate them. The last few trades I've done, going back 600 days in the DLF Pod League, I traded Fant in a 24 second for Ingram and a 22 second and third. Apparently, I wanted some rookie or other that probably didn't work out. Rondell Moore for a 22 second, the 206. I've done that one this offseason. I hate it, but like, I'm happy to be going in on Rondell Moore despite all the odds telling me not to, because screw you, I like Rondell Moore. I traded AJ Brown for Ayuk and a first to that guy. And I hate it. I miss AJ Brown, but I think it was a pretty good trade for the situation I'm in. I got a first back because I didn't have any. And I just traded Chase Edmonds and Tyler Lockett for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I hate that, but I like that I followed through on literally that running back video I made, and also I have no other running backs. So
I traded Cam Akers for Elijah Moore.
Favorite and least favorite
yesterday,
but that's what I've been up to most recently.
Traded Nick Chubb for a 23 first. Happy about that.
Solid.
And I traded in season last year. This was one of my favorite, most recent trades. I traded Darnell Mooney, who I hate to part with, and Ezekiel Elliott, but I got Derrick Henry, who was injured. Well, he was injured at that point. He had the foot injury. So it was a team that was competing, and I got a 23 first on top of that. Right. So I got Henry and a first for Ezekiel Elliott and Mooney. So I feel like that one I'm doing all right. I'm now desperately trying to trade Derrick Henry for a 23 first and be very happy about it.
I've been trying to trade Henry and I can't get it done. And
in season that'll happen. Somebody will be competing, but not quite where they want to be, and you'll be able to throw King Henry on there, and it'll be nice.
Wow. The same team I traded Cam Akers for Elijah Moore. The same guy I traded Travis Etienne and got Drake London.
I'm very happy that I traded up from the 103 to the 102 to get Kenneth Walker, and I don't know what to say. What you all say. I don't care what you shouldn't care what we all say.
Damn straight. If you're happy, that's all that
matters. Yeah, exactly. You got your guy. I think you did the right thing. Yeah. I think you also did the wrong thing. I'm just saying. It's fine. But Walker's a good player. He'll be fine. I'm back-to-back champ and stack, so it doesn't matter to me. You go for it, man. Brendan, what would you pay to move from the 105 to the 101 in Superflex startup? Nothing.
Oh, I don't like the answer of what it would take, but I mean, what would you trade to get from Burrow or Lamar to Allen or Mahomes? The unfortunate answer is you probably have to give up a first.
And I'm not doing it.
I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah. No.
In the top 5 picks as a Superflex, I'm good.
If you could massage around just dealing with inside the draft picks, and if you could give swap firsts and like move back from the 2nd to the 4th and get like a 5th back, like some weird, like just move back a little bit in this, like the 2nd or 3rd, or push it back as far as possible. That's fine. But if you're talking adding 23 picks, if you could do it for a 2nd, that's fine. If they want a 1st, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, the move I'm looking to make if I have a top 5 pick in a Superflex is to make my pick or to trade back. Like, I'm pretty comfortable with top 5 in a Superflex. Like, I at least get a top 5 quarterback. If I have to make a pick, I'm good. I'm good. 1 QB 10 team for me. That seems fine. Abbott O, James Robinson, or Davis Price?
Tyrion Davis Price. San Francisco rookie.
Yeah. James Robinson, please. And Abbott. Oh, sure, why not? That's crazy.
Well, it's a startup. You don't have to pick based on position, but Albert O, I guess.
Yeah, and both of these should be worth more than Davis Price. So,
yeah.
Where's Weaves, though? It's a good question. It's been on the back of my mind. I'm trying not to call him out for it, but good question. BJ Lee, sorry about wanting to know where you all live. I live in Brunswick. You good? I live in Kentucky.
Oh no, you're all good. Area. I'm right near you, BJ. I'm in the Brunswick Metroplex.
He is outside your window recording. That's not really a room. That's just a wall he carries with him.
I live about an hour or 2 away from Ryan McDowell, I've been told. Never met. He avoids me. He's crafty about it, too, because I've been stalking. And, yeah. Andrew Carlson. 1 QB, 12-team PPR league, 10-team. Would you trade Deontay and Michael Carter for Higgins? Yes.
Yeah.
Weaves.
Yo, we are so caught up. And we took like 20 minutes on that trade question.
We did.
Oh, we are? Awesome. Joe says, if you make a bad trade, just stop. I appreciate the energy. If you try to fix frenzied trades afterwards, you're going to mess up. I think that's generally, it's a good piece of advice. If you make a mistake, stop, think about it, look back. That's just a good.
The only way to fix a bad trade is by making another trade,
but not another bad trade
right away. And you don't have to take the next one that comes along.
Don't panic anything. But like the whole conversation before is, it's never your last. Just be willing to keep it going, because just because you think things didn't work out in that trade doesn't mean you don't have a player that another manager values more than you do, and then you can get that value back or even get more as you keep going along.
And the other,
it's actually at the heart of one of my. Sorry, Karen.
No, it's at the heart of what? Darkness? Are we Joseph Conrading? No. So the other piece of that is you don't necessarily know that you've lost the trade, even though you think you've lost the trade. Like, I don't know how many times that's happened where either I'll make a trade and the person I made the trade with will gloat, or I'll make a trade and I'm like, man, I crushed that one. And then 2 years later, you look back and you're like, man, I got Josh Doxson and Corey Coleman for Mike Evans. And that's, and you think you won that trade because, man, you got 2 first-round picks and they were going to be can't-miss wide receivers. And so, yeah, but don't panic on winning and losing trades either.
So
I would say that. I will also say Russ has big middle finger energy today, and I'm loving it.
So much.
I started this thing where I started reverse gloating, pointing out every time, because I get rejected for trades a lot, and I'm pretty sure a good risk. I'm good at assessing risks. I know when the risk is even, and then people are like, my value is remarkably different, and you like Adam Thielen way too much. That's not his value. And I'm like, crazy. But I started the thing where I go back and point it out, like if they'd taken that trade I told was reasonable and the risk was all on my side, like they would be killing it. And so I started doing this reverse gloat, and I noticed in most of my leagues, like if everyone had just accepted my trades, I would have lost each one of them and they all would have been doing better. And I'm like, see? And it took like a year of that for me to figure out that's a problem. Like all they have to, like I'm offering way too many risky trades to get players I like. And so I've got this rule I'm starting to develop a rough sketch of guidelines for trades for myself. And one of them is purely built around don't trade for a projection. And this is me trying to stop trading for players that I am the highest on. And that goes to some of the stuff you were saying where if you can always keep trading players if that player always has value. So trade for a player that has value, not for a player that you value. It's a similar thing. Because if I trade for Juju right now, I can't do it as much as I want to because I'm the one who likes him the most. I won't be able to then cascade that trade. There's no way anyone else is paying what he's worth right now. That's why he's still on the same damn roster. And that guy won't just accept that he's risky and I just want him and you should do it for this. And he's going to... And so I've learned to back off. I won't be able to go back and reverse gloat to the guy who's got Juju that he should have done it. Because I've just stopped making those trades. But don't pay for your projection. Another way of saying it is don't trade for the guy you are the highest on. And again, it's about removing hope and all of that stuff and gutting yourself and it hurts. But you can cascade trades if that player always has value. That's part of that that I would add to that cascading trade idea. You can't just trade for players and then just trade them. Because if you were highest on them and their value goes, there's no one else out there.
Right.
So trade for players that have value instead of players that you value. Sorry, that's what I was going to say. And you can see it was definitely not worth interrupting you. So I'm glad I didn't. There's Weaves. Robert, actionable advice to trade Nick Chubb. Have you seen any deals go down? Well,
I saw one.
Literally just mentioned one. Anything that's like a 23 first. And yes, you can see those going down. I probably shouldn't do it since I'm meant to be controlling the chat here, but we can actually look that up. You can actually go look up recent trades done for players on one of the DLF apps. I can't find it quick enough. Trade Finder, there it is. So I'll try and get that done and come back to it, Robert, unless, House normally gets to it first. Michael, follow up on the long startup trades. It actually is Superflex. Okay. My core is Fields, Wilson, Jefferson, Elijah Moore, T. Higgins, ETN, Walker, Fan, Abbott. You have a big quarterback problem, in my personal opinion, but I really love your wide receivers, and your running backs are pretty lit, actually, to have that good wide receivers and your running backs are still that thick. I like it, but I'm really worried about your quarterbacks. But, I'm not looking up trades for Nick Chubb. Shut up.
I like Fields. I think he'll be good.
But it's not like it's a big question mark at quarterback. Like there are a lot of people who think Fields is going to be good. There are a lot of people who think Zach Wilson is going to be good. Neither of them have been good.
Yes,
it's a real big question mark. Yeah.
That's my remove hope thing. Okay, 12-team Superflex, PPR scoring. Trade that most recent trade that went down for Nick Chubb was Nick Chubb straight up for Rashad Bateman. Kind of on the Chubb side, but I get it. Value-wise, that's the Bateman side for me. The 105 for Nick Chubb. I'm guessing that's this year's pick, and I hate that trade. I hate it. Yep. Chubb, Deontay, and the 103. I'm not going to read those ones. Stefan Diggs for Nick Chubb. I like that one. Diggs. That was literally done on the 20th of last month. So it's fairly recent as well. And those are 3 trades that literally just happened within the last 30 days or so for Nick Chubb. So there's an idea. Weaves. Say you're trying to buy most points at cost for the next 2 seasons. Rank Mike Williams, Sutton, A-Rob, Terry. Most points for the next 2 seasons. Sutton, Terry, Williams, A-Rob. Yeah.
Terry, A-Rob, Sutton, Williams.
Well, just wrong. To be different, I'm going to say Sutton, A-Rob, Terry, Williams.
I think we all 3 said Sutton first. I think that's interesting.
I said Terry first.
Oh, you did? Well, you don't count then.
No, I don't. I've been trying to say that for years.
Elijah Moore plus a 23 first or Higgins? It's Higgins. It's closer.
That's probably right value, depending on where you think that first might be, even though that's a dangerous game. But I think the answer is Higgins.
I think that one's real close, though.
Yeah, I think because of the first. It's yeah. I get it.
I might take the more in the first side and roll the dice.
Exactly. If you look at that team for that first and you see like, oh, their team is complete trash, you go take that first, because especially if it's super flex, Higgins might not be worth the top 5 or 6 players in next year's class.
I think he is, but the other way of looking at a trade when you're uncertain, something I do for myself, is to break it down as in what type of trade is this? Who's winning? What are you trying to get when losing here? The only value for the Elijah Moore side here is that the first might increase and is less risky. And so this is a situational trade for me. Like Higgins and Moore, prefer Higgins over Moore, but the first does equal up their value, but it's safer for the next year. And that's when I would do this trade for the Elijah Moore side. But outside of that, just straight up, I'll take the player I think is better and add a mystery box to it. So I'll take Higgins.
I was listening to the DLF podcast today, and they did a prediction on 2023 startup.
It's a really good exercise. It's something Joe Bosch does every year. That's one of the cold, hard things to do. It's a really good idea.
Matt Price had T. Higgins in the top 10, and Dan Myler had him, I think, at like number 14 overall.
He really good.
And Ryan just didn't feel like showing up, so...
That's so Ryan, right? Happy birthday, Mr. Outhouse, from one Calvin Hobby. You're getting greeted by celebrities. That feels pretty good at this point. Got it. Sean, 12-team startup. I got Allen Mahomes, Najee, Brees. Okay. This is not a screen just to show off your team. Okay, he's just
sit out the rest of the draft.
This is just just showing off. DK, DJ Moore, Waller, awesome. I was pretty pumped.
Do not derail that at all.
You're not a win now either. Like you got so much use, right? That's not what win now looks like.
You're a win now and win later.
You drafted a dynasty team and didn't. Yeah,
just grab a younger tight end. Like if you can grab Freiermuth or something like that in the next few picks, if he's still around.
Oh, there it is. He underpaid a wide receiver a little bit because DK is a little risky. DJ Moore's a top 24 guy. Walker, I don't know about that. I definitely would have paid that third running back to improve my wide receivers, but you've good, like that's a small criticism of a very stacked squad.
You have a very, very good team.
That's a very good squad.
Don't
trade a 23 first and get a guy who's going to score this year.
Very good idea. And there's going to be teams that see those two teams. Yeah. And say, oh, I might as well start playing for the future. So go and get one of the studs they just drafted.
Yeah.
Yep. Robert, 10 man's full PPR, start 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex. And a contender with Chubb. Nice. And Torn got Taylor, Chubb, Jacobs, Dobbins. There's a lot of things I'd trade there, but I want to get out before the age cliff. Not a thing, but I appreciate the sentiment. We'll have to get more coveted 23 first. Yep, that was a good idea. Chubb for a first is a potential. Jacobs, I don't think you're getting a first, so I'll probably keep him for the points. I think Dobbins is an interesting candidate on that list, though, because he's young and very good, and the upside for me ain't there.
Yeah, depending on the league mates, Dobbins may be worth a first to a team, and if he is, then I would gladly do that.
And to be clear, the best part of that is you're giving him a really good player. Dobbins is great, and he's going to score points, so it's fair too. Yeah.
Can I hot take this one?
Yes.
Yep. Do it.
Go trade JT for 2 firsts and a solid player. Go trade Jonathan Taylor for 2 firsts and Darnell Mooney.
But then you're not a you're not.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're looking for value, I like it. I like the idea, but Taylor's legitimately top 5 this year. Top 3. Oh, I love that face.
I know, I get it.
Whatever, peasants. You don't get it. I like that.
Jonathan Taylor's value is vaulted because he has the title of running back 1. His value of running back 1 is nothing like what we've had in running back 1 for the past 7 years.
I'm in. No, I get the point. Yeah. This is like trade Saquon after his first year. It was worth it, even though he was Saquon. Yeah.
So, yes, Jonathan Taylor is going to continue to be great. But if you can get someone who's going to score, Jonathan Taylor might put up 350 points. If you can get someone that's going to score around that 280 to 300, and that's a lot for Mooney, but it was just the name that came to my head, and get 2 firsts on top, A, I think that's realistic, and B, that's great for your team now and for the future.
Here's the thing: the player that comes to mind for that is Chubb, though, and he's got him.
I would not do that. I would not do that for Chubb. If
Chubb, no, I mean JT for Chubb and 2 firsts.
I'm saying that I would not take Chubb in that deal.
That's one of the few guys I think you can get for Taylor and 2 firsts that has that range of outcomes. No,
I would rather find a team old guy person in there.
That's who Chubb is. Lower
dynasty value. Yeah, but I don't dislike Chubb because of his age. I dislike Chubb because he'll never be part of the passing game and his ceiling is capped. And he always finds a way to miss a couple of games. So put all that together, and he's not.
So who is in that camp? Who can get 2 firsts and has that range of outcomes? I mean, you're not getting Najee, and that's the only other guy I'd be interested in. I mean, maybe Eckler. He's 27 and undrafted.
That would be baller.
Eckler don't think would be
happens, but yeah.
That's the thing. I can't think of another one that would happen
with. Let's see, Godwin. Or unless we're looking for specific running backs.
Yeah, I mean, if you get, I thought that's what we were talking about, like top 5 running back potential.
Mixon.
No, yes, you could probably do. I mean, I was just looking. Hold on, let me filter for running backs.
That's ugly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, Dalvin, you might be able to do that.
Dalvin's interesting, yeah.
Henry, like he was saying, he was having trouble getting rid of Henry.
Did you just make a face at Joe Mixon, who scored 0.2 points per game fewer than Najee Harris last year?
Yes.
I did not. I like Mixon.
Okay.
I pulled a face.
Why?
Because Najee has youth. That's why I'm interested.
Well, that's the whole point. Is Peter, you're getting 2 firsts plus a player who's scoring 18 points a game.
If I'm trading for a top 12 running back, I'm not trading a top 5 running back.
Be just 2 years younger than Joe Mixon.
He was 4 last year, Peter. 4.
Yes,
that's top
in
5.
2022. That's like DJ Chark being a top 24 wide receiver when he would have made top 24 no other year. Like, I don't care. He wouldn't have been a top 5 running back in any other year. Like, he's top 12 guy. Meh.
Then there are no top 5 running backs
from last year.
It's Jonathan Taylor, who's not really a top 5 because we already said that.
All right.
And like we don't have top 5. Like running back is different now. Like
that's
it
fair.
has changed.
I use it as a synonym, but we're talking about running backs that have it's like top 36 overall startability, and very few running backs get into that conversation. Top 5 is like a synonym for the running backs that always do. And last year, none of the top 5 running backs were those guys. That's where the difference is coming from. Also, happy birthday, Russ, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's different kind of points. Joe Webb, same with me. People don't accept most of my trades, and if they did, I wouldn't be back-to-back champ. I wasn't even winning, and I was in that situation, buddy. But good humble brag, yeah. Grimly 1314, nice. 12-team PPR, Burrow or Hurts, and a probable top 3 first. I don't care what that first is. I'm taking Hurts in the first, even though Burrow is clearly great. I'm not playing real football. I'm playing fantasy, so I take
Hurts will have a starting job regardless if the Eagles are weird and don't want to stick with him, and he is going to score you lots and lots of fantasy points.
Who's a great quarterback in 2 years? Burrow. Even in 2 years, it's Burrow for sure. You'll be happy to have Burrow in 2 years. I'm not sure you're happy to have Hurts in 2 years, but value. So yeah, it's a thing. You can apparently draft like a top 5 quarterback with every pick of the 23 class, I've been told. So,
I wish we could go back to 2020 and listen to you do this same thing.
I know.
And that 2020 class had like 7 guys. Like we can go down and look in the top 15 dynasty players, and there are like 7 guys that were in that class.
And I've accepted that. And I've said, have I not sided with the 2023 picks a lot?
I guess, but you still have that.
Accepted their value.
I guess maybe.
I'm allowed to make jokes. I'm allowed to throw shade at the hype machine that is mystery box. It's just what I do. Not 12 quarterbacks from my class to say. John, Ayuk and a 23 third or Ertz Wandale a 23 second. Am I too crazy high on Ayuk, or is this just
no? That's probably Ayuk.
Mystery boxes for Ayuk, right?
Yeah.
This is nothing.
Yes, it's mystery boxes for Ayuk, but I don't think I'm upset about those.
Really?
If it's a tight end, if it's Russ's like 175 premium, it's closer. For sure. Like again, if there is a tight end premium, Ertz is a solid tight end. I still think it's Ayuk, but it's close. This is a shrug your shoulders trade to me.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
Yeah. In which case, I probably just stick with the most valuable asset, which is Ayuk.
So. Yeah.
I got them for you, by the way. 2020 rookies that have had a top 12 season. James Robinson starting off strong. Antonio Gibson continuing to be strong. Jalen Hurts, who was definitely drafted in the first round. Joe Burrow. Jonathan Taylor. Herbert, who I think was didn't we get weirdly low on Justin Herbert during the draft or something? Anyway, and then Justin Jefferson. It was a stacked class for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think people got like bored of Herbert being good, and they're just like pushing him back. Like I think that's really what happened. Like forgetting that last year, if he would have come out, he was going to be the QB1. Well, until the whole Kyler thing happened, but like he was going to be a top 3 pick in the NFL draft the year before. And everyone's like, oh, but he's not Burrow and Tua. It was one of those things that's like Burks, like Zach says with Burks, and like what happened with Juju a couple of years ago when he was getting drafted. So many people are just tired of calling him good. There's just like, yeah, I guess he's good. And then new and exciting things.
Fully accepting all of this, and I'm going in 23 class because when the Devi community is great at projecting this, and they're projecting a great class. I would say first round players, NFL first round players that you could have drafted in your first round very reasonably because they're first round players in a great class, are also Brandon Ayuk, who's now trading for Wandale Robinson in a second apparently. Henry Ruggs, who no one was fooled by, but also Jerry Jeudy, who's I would have told you to draft him like above some of the players we just mentioned, and Jalen Reagor, who I had ranked back to back with Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying it's not a great class, but there are plenty of misses in the first round of a rookie draft. That's the other part of it. But yeah, also Joe Burrow, to be fair. Adam, heading into round 15 of a 12-team start. I like all these startups going off. We don't normally get a lot of startup questions, and they're because it's a season, right? It's awesome. It's a startup season. How do you rank these QBs in 2023 and beyond? I'm productive struggling. Baker, Jimmy G, Darnold. You sure are productive struggling. Oh God!
I mean, if I have to
ham
choose
sandwiches?
from those three, I think that's my order.
I would rather have Garoppolo.
I was thinking about that.
Garoppolo will have the best chance to be a starter somewhere, but given the percentage that I think Baker will start from somewhere, and the fact that I think Baker's better than Garoppolo, or at least plays a style
He is not.
I'm not. No, I am not. Baker.
He was drafted higher, but he is not.
Cleveland.
If Zach has that kind of conviction, I'm in. He's not.
Baker Mayfield made Jarvis Landry look like an incompetent wide receiver. The defense rests like that.
Baker Mayfield went through a new coach and new offensive coordinator every single year of his career.
I still like the walk-on.
Jake Cutler with Adam Gase made Jarvis Landry a top 10 wide receiver. I don't want to hear excuses from Baker Mayfield. I don't. I don't. I like his commercials. They're funny, especially the Alice Cooper one. Because Baker got the
he's probably a riot
leather boot, not the knee high. But yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just I can't. To me, it's Garoppolo, Baker, and then Darnold is Darnold. I did a sympathy for the Darnold parody a while ago.
The other benefit to that is if you've got Jimmy, the Trey Lance owner might have added interest in a trade. There's always those kind of edges you can look for, and that's. Yeah, I don't disagree with Jimmy being first. Peter, Juju's crusade is similar to my ETN crusade past few months. Yeah, it's rough. Saw a tweet a couple of weeks ago.
Stay strong, fellas.
I'm trying. It's rough out here, though. Weave, thanks, man. Nice to have support. Pete, Juju's saying the same thing. If you seem to be higher than your whole league on someone, you're probably too high. Also, the entire industry. Like, I've gone looking. Like, he's ranked high in the 40s. Redraft. Like, not even the redraft players are like, there's upside here. It's just me. Probably too high, but I am there. Justin, got a doozy here. 12-team Superflex, half-point PPR. I'm going to go try and look for it. Watson, Hilaire, Rojo, 25 firsts. 25th first. That's going to be a 25th first, which is really far out. Well, Stafford, Henry, Cooks, Gronk. It's Stafford. It's Henry. It's just Henry, right?
It's the other side, yeah.
Yeah, it's Henry's side.
Gross. I'm trying to wrap my mind. Gronk is still retired, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but everyone kind of thinks he might sort of retire. That's why he's getting drafted in like best ball leagues and stuff.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah. It's what you think it is.
I don't even know what to think about that. I'm assuming it's Deshaun Watson, but I'm also assuming he is suspended for the better part of this year.
I also
Watson,
was
Stafford, Hilaire, Henry.
If it's Christian Watson, it's the Stafford side easily.
I'm still on the Stafford side, regardless of what any of this gets talked about for the rest anyway.
Me too. But I think that's Deshaun Watson. It's like Watson for Stafford, Hilaire for Henry, so you see the reversing the upside there. And then
I get it. Yeah, that's every ounce of that Stafford Henry side for me.
Yeah.
That's a big
little
shrug.
closer for you, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think, I don't want Deshaun Watson on my, and that's really where Russ is coming, is he doesn't want any part of Deshaun Watson, and I totally get that, and I think that as more trickles out, like there was a 23rd lawsuit filed today, so
yeah, I read something.
We have not seen the worst
heebie-jeebies.
of this. We haven't seen the suspension yet. It's going to be ugly. So I probably would stay away from the Watson side, but he is the best player in that.
Oh, yes. Physical talent, yes.
Yeah.
But
that's not what's coming. Jackson P, on the clock, can't trade down. Well, sorry it took us so long to get here. Which player will boom earlier so I can sell? That's a good way of asking that question.
Sky Moore is already booming because people want him because he's on Kansas City.
He's on Kansas City.
I think I want Pickens.
Have a harder time.
I mean, if I'm keeping the player, I want Pickens.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. But he's not going to pop anytime soon.
Probably not. Watson and Sky are probably your best bets for a boom, right?
Sky is safer, and Sky you can probably move easier now with the whole Kansas City. Imagine Watson comes in, averages 8 few games.
That's like I bet Aaron Rodgers can make Watson look good for a game.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. Watson is for real.
Has already started to backpedal on the Watson selection, really saying, "Oh yeah, it's for the future."
They said that.
That's not good.
They said
that's
that.
weird.
That came out of
that's not
which
good.
is it's not
that
ideal that they're
Probably
looking
Sky
at
Moore.
him as a. Well, I mean, and again, it was after he had a bad couple of days at camp. He's dropped passes, and they're trying to make him feel better. Like, you don't have to be the guy right now.
Right.
But saying it the way they said it, it was a little bit
Concerning.
I didn't like it. Yeah. Yep.
So there's some opinions. I think Sky Moore is probably the answer here because you don't have to think just who's going to.
I mean, we all said Sky Moore, but then we all
Who
talked
can
about
you
the other
What a
trade
fantastic way to wrap up a discussion. Well, there's some opinions.
I mean, honestly, that's what we talk around it so much and disagree so much. Like, honestly, that's normally the best I can say. Like, there's some opinions. Obviously, I like mine
everybody.
best. We said words on that subject for a while. I assume it is now answered for you. No, I think we are saying Sky Moore. But if I'm just drafting the player that I think is the best bet to be the best
Pickens.
player and have the most, it's Pickens.
Yeah. Yep.
Brendan, Brees and a 24 second for Trey Lance, Tyler Algier and a 24 third. Is this a super flex? For the love of God, I hope that's a super flex. I hope this is a super flex, Brendan.
Got to be a super flex. Otherwise, it's not even close on the Brees side.
Right? Yeah.
What do you think of
So there,
Brees for Lance? What are your feelings on, like, if that trade were straight up, how would you feel about that?
Lance side.
Like,
Yeah,
and for you to say that,
it is.
Yeah.
It's the Lance side, but it's not by a lot. It's
It's quarterback. You know, if it's a super flex, I lean the quarterback there.
yeah.
And honestly, the Jets give me the heebie-jeebies, even at running back. Okay, I'll take
Yep.
an excuse to go to a more upside, similar upside, but at quarterback, sure. Yeah, let me out of here. But I actually thought John's idea was really interesting, and it tempted me when he was saying you can trade your quarterback and a 23 first for Trey Lance. And again, when I'm saying that, it's interesting because there's a little lull right now in the Trey Lance market, maybe. And this trade gave me the same feeling.
I mean, he's back outside the top 12.
Yeah, he made it to like 12. He made it like 13, I think.
13
right?
in DLF, the most
He's back in that
Superflex.
interesting range.
He's back in where he should have been the entire time.
Yeah.
But again, like when we were talking about him when he was there before, he was a buy because of that upside. Then there was a point where he was going at like QB7.
Right.
So now there's no meat on the bone. You don't want to pay that price because you assume all the risk. Now you're back to it's not as much of a risk.
This is the same question as before. Moving on. Alan Davis, from my earlier post of having Waller and Adams, show off, this may be the last sell window for Adams. Yeah, I'm really nervous on Adams because, again, Adams is a player where I expect, because he's great, points. And he should score points. He really should, even in a new situation. But if he doesn't, that's bad for Dynasty. And honestly, and normally I'm like, team all guy, but not, like, it's not that I don't know what to expect from him in a new situation. And like, it could take a second. That's just human to be that dominant of a player. And I mean, Hopkins translated very easily, so we should probably expect to see from Adams.
I think you're fine, and he's.
But in a vacuum, yeah, Adams has some concerns in Dynasty.
Can we narrative street for a second?
Yes,
my favorite street.
Please, so, God damn it, we've been off that street so long. I'm bored of not being on it.
Adams to Las Vegas is not playing with a new quarterback to him. He's played with Derek Carr in college to the tune of 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns at Fresno State.
At what point? What has it been? 10 years?
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's fine. But you like when you play with somebody, you understand. I mean, it doesn't take as long to get back into that groove. So like,
it's not like Adams has as much to learn as a rookie.
So
like,
what you're telling me is that something weird must have happened, and Kobe Fleener was like
a little different. I mean, like,
Kobe Fleener was genuinely bad, man.
I like Kobe Fleener, like that's. But
I mean, that's what happened there.
I loved how heavy that was written.
I would
they drafted his tight end.
I would go way out on a limb,
best friends
and
forever.
Say Devontae Adams, Derek Carr is going to be somewhere between the Kobe Fleener, okay, and the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. I'm gonna put him in somewhere that window. Yeah.
You somewhere and me playing football is somewhere in between.
But yeah, like it is. He's getting to that point where it may be the last sell window, but I think you're going to get some points out of him with Carr too. So
that was a good one.
Me throwing a ball to my dog is somewhere between that window, but whatever. let's ride that one. That one sounds good. Russ, the birthday boy. True. P to the R. Hope you had a great day. Enjoy all your content. Thank you. You should.
It's a great day now.
Does great content. He gives great content. How about that? Sure. That wasn't a brag. It's fine.
Sure.
Well, we gave you the option to say it was a brag, and I would just always take that opportunity personally.
Sean, your team is stacked also. There are 3 teams in that league that are stacked.
I thought he was one of the 2.
No, he was saying that there are 2 other teams that are
stacked.
Oh,
no, you are stacked also. Don't
yes.
Good.
Oh.
Marion Barber, the RB that went crazy in the end zone running where he breaks about 11 tackles, has died. He was only 30. That's terrible.
Yeah,
that's sad. He was so much fun, yet so terrifying to watch because he's one of the only running backs I remember watching who would purposely run towards defenders.
Yeah, it's like Marshawn Lynch before Marshawn Lynch figured out that he was Marshawn Lynch.
Marion the Barbarian. Like he seeked out people to knock them over.
Also, just random person dying at 38.
At 38,
let alone someone who was so fun and gave us so much joy.
Joe Gladney, I think his name was, that used to be on the Vikings, died at 25. This is ridiculous. Like, stop that.
Yeah. Jahan Webb, Old Man Harris.
Najee.
Yeah. MB
Marion Barber.
Sorry, I didn't even get that reference. Is one of my favorite players and fantasy players ever. Going off Russ's hot take, what bridges the gap between JT for Mixon and Lance in a super flex?
That's
pretty straight.
That's pretty close on its own. If you can grab a second's worth of value on top of that, I think that's pretty golden.
Also, I would just do that trade. That's fine for me. Like the Mixon points are
exactly. Yes, that is
that
good.
I'm not taking.
Now he wants the Mixon points. You see this?
That quells all my anxiety right there. I get the difference making points of the other. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Chris Greenwood. I don't want any Mixon points. I've changed my mind. I didn't like the way Zach said that. Never want any points from Joe Mixon ever. Chris Greenwood, 106, 212, and the 23 second for a 23 first. I'm going to go ahead and get. Nope. Give the 106 to.
I'm so confused.
Me too.
I want the 23 first if there is one. If it's just the number 1, I don't want that.
Was this the one about trading up to the 101?
Own the copyright.
If we're trading up to the 101, yes, do that.
Yeah. There's going to be so many things.
Hold on. Down 3, I think he's got it. Give the 106. Yeah, there you go. 212, a 23 second for a 23 first, and Mike Evans. Yeah, dude. Yes.
Oh, so we're talking
23 first and Mike Evans.
Yeah, go do that.
Yeah,
do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking rookie.
It is scary thundering here, by the way. Like that's why I keep
sorry.
It is scary sounding.
You okay? It's your birthday. You're fine. You're safe. You're good. Nothing bad happens.
Oh, that's how that works?
No, I've made it so. It's fine.
I saw
Emma.
that.
I'm in a Superflex startup right now and have managed to get Lamar, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers. Is that Cam Newton and Akers or Cam?
No, I think that's just a bad comma.
I should recognize that of all people, to be fair. I apologize. I like Eli Mitchell, who I like right now. Diggs, Debo, DJ Moore, Deontay, and Elijah Moore. Lots of Elijahs. I like it. Through 8 rounds. I think that's shaping up
Hopefully there's a second quarterback there for you to get, but that's a really good team.
Yeah.
Again,
well, I mean, you got a top 5 and then just difference makers at wide receiver and not a bad running back. Like, yeah.
Yes,
like
sir.
If magically someone along the Cousins line of quarterbacks is still around, go take one.
Cousins, Derek Carr.
Yes.
I'd leap at the chance, for sure. Yeah. There's some falling values this year. It's an interesting time. Chris Greenwood, give one of...
That's the one. Yeah,
sorry,
this
my
is
bad.
the first and Evans. No, you're good.
Give examples of how diabolically deep you strategize into Dynasty. I think you think too much of me. For instance, I took the GOT quote, break the wheel, to slowly take the two teams down by sniping their guys and putting myself up.
Yeah, I don't think about things. Is that bad?
I'm kind of like a dog, sees things and chases them. Most of the time, like chasing it down the road. I think, no, sometimes I do look at my team and I recognize it's not going the direction I want and I have to come up with something, but I plan very loosely and not very deeply at all. Yeah,
I have notebooks on my league mates. That's my, and I borrowed, I don't know what my diabolic ability, my diabolicness, whatever it is, from Leo Pasiga, who is the OG.
Leo,
yeah. So, but yeah, like I will keep notes on my league mates, keep notes on their tendencies, keep notes on how they trade, who they draft, what positions they like, whether or not they're interested in second, third, fourth round picks. Like I know Kyle loves to stack up late round picks. So if I have late round picks, I'll trade them to Kyle, get guys that I want. I'm like, these are all things that I do. I'm not sure how actual diabolical that is, but I try. When I write things down, I go, so it makes it a little more diabolical.
I can see you doing that late at night in the dark.
As he's
give me
writing.
something for the second. No,
Zach, shut up! We're trying to sleep.
I think very hard and long and deep about football and dynasty and value and stuff. But individual leagues, my goal is to stay flexible. It's like I'm trying to get out the habit of trying to trade for players. Like I want more players I would trade for than and think more about players I have to trade away. I still stuck at that. I want to go out and get my guys, but I actually try to stay more flexible, and I've got nowhere near the diligence to keep notes on my league mates. I don't care how much Leo and Zach talk about it. Like, no.
I don't have the energy for it.
I'd lose the notebook. I'd just doodle in it. Yeah. Paul Cicero. I drafted Taekwon Thornton in the last round of my rookie draft because he had the highest draft capital of available players. Honestly, probably one of the best reasons to draft a player late, taking all the hope out of it. But I don't know if he'll be good in Dynasty. No one does. No,
Paul,
one does.
I've been taking him higher than that.
Yeah.
Assuming the last round of your rookie draft is either the 4th or the 5th. Like I've been late thirding Taekwon Thornton if the couple of players that I usually draft there are gone, just because of two things. One, the Patriots obviously spent second round capital to go up and get Taekwon Thornton. But two, what he does with the ball is eerily similar to the things that you saw Jalen Waddle do with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a player who can throw players into or in stride and allow them to make plays on slants. And Taekwon Thornton is so fast that if that comes to fruition, man, that's a huge, huge ceiling. And for a later round pick, whatever.
For sure. Weaves, what would you guys need to move Pitts in a 2-point tight end premium?
All of it.
Premium really doesn't matter for me.
Everything.
It should matter to you, Peter, because there are 4 guys that are going to go like way up over even. So like, say you got flex spots. I'll take 2-3 tight ends and just play them in flex spots because they're scoring more than running backs and wide receivers.
I mean, that's a lot of,
especially in a 2-point premium, man.
Yeah,
Pitts is already in that. It's 3 first-round picks. It's the most I'll say a player is worth in Dynasty, and Pitts is kind of in that tier.
Yeah,
begrudgingly. So yeah, just mostly to piss off John Bosch. 10-team 1 QB.
You're gonna make Peter say Pittman.
23 first or Waddle. I don't know. This is the
QB.
one, dude.
It's Waddle. Pittman in the first, easily.
Don't we like Waddle like a lot?
We do.
Wouldn't that 23 first round pick have to be like remarkable to do what Waddle has already done in his first year?
I mean, but Pittman's not that far off from Waddle in terms of production.
He's, for me, doing it in first year is a lot different from.
I just want him to do it, Peter. I want him to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't want him to try.
Yeah, there is no try.
He does it or he doesn't.
Yeah.
Taking all that out. I like Waddle. All right. I don't. It's fair.
Peter hates Pittman. Hates him. I love it. He just hates him.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
As a human being.
I don't understand that hate.
Peter sees Michael Pittman. He crosses the road. He's just like, no.
Yeah, I just cross the street.
Walk on the other side.
Go the other way.
He has football cards of Pittman on his wall with the eyes carved out.
But Jalen Waddle, he'll give a piggyback. He likes Waddle.
I only have one football card. It's because it was sent to me by someone who likes to make me cry. It's Tutu Atlas.
Oh.
I have a lot of football cards.
Well, you're weird.
I am weird.
No one else does that, Russ.
Just me.
Would a late 23 first? Wait, I've missed something here. No? Would be a late 23
I mean, it must
first,
go with this.
He had that trade for
Evans in the first. It's still Evans in the first.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hit that like button.
Thanks, Cal.
Okay,
Thanks, Cal.
I did it. Oh, damn it. I see what he's doing. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cal. Thank you. Yeah, everyone please hit the like button. I forgot we were doing that thing. Joe, Travis Etienne, football is about matchups. If I could be like Deebo Samuels, I would love that one.
Me too.
Love that. One reporter is saying he's been running routes and catching passes nonstop in OTA.
Well,
I would expect.
That was the point.
He's a really good receiver. I know he ran, but he wasn't. That's not most of it. He's pretty good. Debo's problem was health.
If
even when he dropped in value last year, it was always Rich Harbour said it really. Well, it's just he has a way of saying things that stick with you. Konami code has literally become the default answer. For example, he said Deebo Samuel is a monster truck with the constitution of a race car, Formula One race car. Obviously, I say it bad, but he was saying something really well. Like he's a monster truck, but that's our perception of him, that he gets injured easy and then is out. Like, that was the problem with him. I love hearing that, though, to be fair. Jesse Reeves, I know him. Happy birthday, Russ. Let's make a trade to celebrate.
Check yo inbox, fool. I sent him something when I saw he said that.
Breaking the wheel, as I remember, it was not a fun thing. But it's being used in a fun context here. I've never seen Peter laugh that hard. Was it about the Pittman trade? That's probably true. John Webb, Barber also sought out cars to run into. What? Am I missing a reference?
He died getting hit by a car, and
I hope that's not what that's about. I assume not.
That's cool.
Shots. Hi, gents. 12-team Superflex, 2 tight end premium. Zeke plus Higgins for Hollywood and a 23 first.
Wait.
I think I'm on the Zeke side of this, Zeke and Higgins.
Yes.
Yeah. I love Hollywood, but yeah.
And get rid of 2 tight ends.
Quick ranks, please. Kobe Fleener, Delaney Walker.
Delaney Walker had a really good end to his career.
I love Delaney Walker, man. Lower drafted, positional convert, cheap points in the top 5 at his position. Yeah,
it's Delaney Walker, and then don't talk about the other 2.
Like, hands down. I don't even know who the other 2 are. I don't agree they exist.
The best thing Vance McDonald did was getting traded to, and I think it was Pittsburgh, so that George Kittle was the starter in San Francisco.
Like, I was ready for Vance to take off, though, because it's like, because the same thing happened with Delaney Walker. You're an athletic tight end on San Francisco that's not doing well, and then got traded to another team.
Exactly the same thing.
But then Vance never did anything.
JT and Godwin for CMC and Chubb. Also Swift and DJ Moore or Dalvin Cook, and a 123 first.
JT and God. Okay, well, first of all, Jonathan Taylor over CMC and Chubb by himself. Swift and DJ Moore or Dalvin Cook in a first. Swift and DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think it's the first side in both of those, just based on value. I think you can get more for the first side than what the second side is.
There's only one trade with a first in it, though. You said
it's true.
First time.
Well, no, but there are 2 trades. Like, what I'm saying is you can get the first side, like the left side of the trade, not the side with the first. So, like JT and Godwin. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, JT and Godwin, I agree. Moore is worth more than a first still, right? We're not that far up, so yeah.
Probably worth
a first-ish.
Yeah, first.
Yep.
And if I saw Cook in a first for Swift, I wouldn't be super surprised by it, though.
Right. Swift is a top 4 running back right now in Dynasty. Yeah. So.
Peter trying to Jedi mind trick us on the stone. Yeah, for Russ, I will learn the ways of magic to keep Russ safe. Should I trade for ETN for Eckler if I'm contending?
Eckler.
I project Eckler to finish higher in 2022, if that's the question. Like, redraft, thought process, I want Eckler, yeah.
Yeah. I would do that very, very easily.
Yes.
Sorry, this chat's skipping around. I think people are commenting and it's buffering me around where we're an hour behind. And
we're only like 11 minutes behind.
I like to think we were Joe's first, but probably not. Yeah, everyone's cheating on us with Ray. Don't pretend like we're your first choice. Long term, Jameson.
Very energetic. I get it.
He's very first choice over me. You know. Long term, Jameson or Bateman? I think the upside's with Jameson, but I'd take Bateman if it was straight up.
I'd rather Bateman.
Yeah.
think Jameson might be worth a little bit more, but if we're talking like,
That's weird. It's a weird thing to say, or be true.
I feel better about Bateman now long term, but like you said, I think Jameson could be better. I'm just gonna say Bateman and stop thinking this much about it.
Yeah, don't think about it that much.
I was thinking about it a lot.
No problem, Chris. Have you seen my Twitter account?
Peter's a human typo. It's awesome.
Walking human type. Yeah, barely walking. Traylon Burks or Saquon? Saquon.
Yeah.
Russ? Right?
I said yeah.
Okay.
I was agreeing with you.
I got a delay. I was following Peter before Ray GQ. Oh wow, that's cool.
Well, I mean, Ray
very few things. Like I'm succeeding, and that's one right there.
I remember it was
also Lyle and Kyle liked a tweet of mine the other day, and that's two things.
This was like probably 3 years ago. I started a show shouting out these two unknown, like underfollowed people, and it was Ray GQ and Stepmom Lauren. And now they're both like they've both taken the world by storm, and I'm still hanging out with Peter at 9:30 on Wednesdays and doing the Dynasty Dummies.
Awesome. I've had both of them on my show too.
Yes.
Man, we're great at launching people.
Oh,
we're not.
I got the cold shoulder from Ray. Just saying.
Really?
I mean, that was also like 3 years ago at this point. So
yeah, I'm imagining that's what that is. Although he doesn't respond, he's too big for me at this point, I guess. Rightly so. What I was going to say, yeah, Joe's comment here. I've had my YouTube channel actively putting out videos. Probably about 2 years. I've been concentrating in the last year, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because Joe, for a long time there, it was just Joe and me in the comments. You can fact check that one. It's just me and Joe going back and forth. Like, that one sucked. Yeah, I know. That player's pretty good. Thanks. Jesse reads, Peter, when you say I know that guy after reading my name, I know that guy though. I do know that guy, kind of.
He finishes it if you go to the next.
I don't want to. In the chat, you sound surprised I'm here, and as if I'd miss the opportunity to come in here and see you. You would. I'm assuming you're very bored and there's literally nothing else going on. But I do have Russ and Zach with me, so there's a chance.
And I'm actually paying attention some of the time.
Yeah. Wasn't Mariota the QB when Delaney Walker has a good year? I think Walker was good, then Mariota came in, right? Mm-hmm. Delaney was good for at least 1 year before that. No?
I mean, Delaney Walker was underrated, has been underrated for quite a while. So, or was at this point?
Might have been.
Not.
I would have to fact check myself on that one. But yeah, Mariota and Delaney were a thing in football for points in fantasy, to be clear. Paul Cicero, Russ, how many big Clemson wide receivers do you own on your rosters? All of them. I got you, Russ. He owns all of them. In fact, he's made sure to have 6 of each. He told us at the start of the stream.
He does not have enough Hunter Renfrow. That's the big Clemson wide receiver that
it's got to be big team, big Clemson wide receiver.
Yeah, that word that I'm trying to point to, but my screen stops. I mean, is Martavis Bryant still in the system on MFL? I'll go pick one up. Just
for sure. Lofty. Hey, buddy. I don't think we've spoken to him before. I know it's a loaded question, but I'm in a slow draft in the 2022, in the 22nd round. It's not a loaded question. You good? And have no clue who to go with.
Literally anybody you feel like.
Who are your deep
whose name do you recognize?
At the end of a draft? Yeah, basically. And any actual guesses of who might be around? I was asked this the other day. I got 2.
I mean, Myles Gaskin stopped at 20, so I don't.
Myles Gaskin can still be found down there sometimes,
Ooh,
and also Taylor Wallace.
Hold on. Draft.
Is Keontae Ingram still?
I assume he's taking a little higher. Where he's
again, I don't know. I haven't done a startup for a while, so I don't.
I'd have to check. He probably still around. I don't mind that one either.
Damian Williams
I just took Damian Williams in one of the eliminators.
I would say lean running back. Actually, technically in Dynasty, you lean wide receiver, but lean running back, you should be rostering more running backs. So pick out the favorite running back that you recognize or is young with, like that Keontae Ingram pick. You never know.
Damian Granson.
Because you said in Dynasty you want to roster wide receivers, but I think your second instinct is right at the back end of your roster. It's running backs. Like I want young wide receivers when I'm building my team, but when I'm at the back end of a roster, running backs have much more of a chance to hit where you can use them than flyer wide receivers who are like the seventh guy on the depth chart.
No, I found this range where it's like around 10 to 17 where we hit on running backs a little bit more often in terms of value in Dynasty. Yep. And so I've been highlighting this as like a second red running back zone with its opposite of the dead zone. They're cheap and Khalil Herbert types. But then it switches back to wide receiver like in the very deep rounds. But honestly, yeah, that's what I would generally say. That's peering eggshells a little bit too much for me. You should just be rostering more running backs. So.
Yeah.
Sony Michel, Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams is a great one. I picked him up a lot, actually. So yeah, hopefully there are some things we said about thing that I do. Yeah. Robert, so you're mid-trading Jonathan Taylor it's not crazy at all. He's at peak value easily. I don't think guys in my league have the big boy pants to make that work, sadly. Yeah, that's what is required, some big boy pants. And tradables like Chubb is doomed. Yeah, his points are worth more, and at a certain point it's hard to trade him for that.
Well, but then
there were some opinions on that subject. Hopefully some of them helped.
Make a trade where you combine, like if nobody wants Chubb, add him in a package, and then all of a sudden, Chubb is a piece? Like that's nice.
Yeah.
And so you can actually gain value the way you trade, the way you pair, the way you frame a trade. It's kind of like food. Presentation actually counts for something when you're making a trade.
Get to this one just in case the clock is short. Davis Mills is still on the board in a 14 round, 12 team startup, especially if there's super flex, by the way. But take him.
Super flex.
Yes.
Yep.
Would you take him as your fifth QB? Yes.
I would take Davis
Mills. It's okay
Mills
to stack up QBs. Mm-hmm. Especially if this is a super flex.
Yes. You should take Davis Mills.
Robert, by the way, I love the pacing of your guys' show. I appreciate that, man, because we're literally chat run. The pacing is the order and the rate at which people comment. So you guys are doing awesome. Appreciate that. The other trio with Ryan are awesome, but they meander and take way too long. Wow, we're the guys who don't take too long. We're the guys who don't take too long.
Robert caught us on the right show then.
Are you sure, Robert? Are you sure?
We are genuinely trying our best. What would you want? That's sad, I know, but we are. What would you want in return for David Montgomery? A first. It's a good starting point, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're getting a 23 first, though. I don't.
What can you get for Gallup or Mooney? You can't get a first for him.
Strong second.
It's between a first and a second kind of value, you know?
Is anybody else like feeling Mooney is kind of a sneaky
underrated
buy? Yeah, like a sneaky buy right now.
I have been trying to get him in places. Yeah,
I think he's one of those top 24 guys that doesn't cost top 24.
Yeah,
because there's no hype around it. It just is what it is. I love it. Yeah, definitely. Gallup kind of is too, but Gallup's gonna miss some, so he's not quite in the same.
Yeah,
and Tolbert's gonna break out. Maybe probably not as good as Gallup, but I do like him. 12 team wide receiver core: Jefferson, Higgins, DK. Just a show off stream today. Terry, Juju, like it. Claypool, don't like it. Ridley, Visca, Palmer, like it. Solid or get more depth. I think
you don't have to worry about wide receiver depth.
You don't need. You don't need more wide receivers.
Pretty solid.
And in fact, you could lose a few of these. Claypool to Visca. That'd be a nice area to lose. I keep Palmer. But Adam, I have data from 5 12-team Superflex tight end premium safe leagues that began post NFL draft. 22
Marvin
ADP.
Jones.
Julio, Snoop.
Darrell Williams.
I don't mind Robbie. Always a good deep bet. But we're probably looking at Batty for Darrell, Smith.
Marvin Jones.
James White's going to play this year, right? For the Patriots.
In theory, but they have 19 running backs on their roster.
Yeah, I know. I found him in like a really competitive dynasty league that's best ball, and I was like, why wouldn't he be on the waiver wire?
Yeah, you might as well roster him.
That's kind of the vein I'm thinking of him in, like last ditch running back pick. That's the range I like here. I don't mind Robbie or Marvin Jones. That's fine. But if I'm going running back, which I probably am, it's Batty for Darrell, Abram. Maybe
I want Darrell Williams. It has some like sneaky upside.
You like it?
as a pass catcher. But I would hate that for Keontae, but
yeah, that's why it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Remove the heart. And Nicholas is going from Deontay to DK or Higgins worth it in a I think they're valued over him in Dynasty. No?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's what it.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Hold on, Higgins owner doesn't want. So he's trying to convince other people in his league by using us, but like I think maybe a 24 first is. I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
No, like the next part, yes. Because honestly, you can probably get a plus on top of Hollywood to get to Deontay. And then once the season starts and Hollywood is crushing it, he'll gain value.
Here's the thing. This is always the problem with naming targets because people are like, but Deontay's good and everyone likes Higgins. That's why he's not a target of mine. Like everyone loves Higgins in ADP at least. And in my leagues, ADP tends to be more true than it's not. If in your leagues it's different, then by all means go for it. But he's not a great value target right now for me. Whereas Hollywood, it's literally a great value target everywhere. Hollywood, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, the reason we mention them is because their value is great for what you should get from them. So Hollywood's probably a better target there. You guys are on top of it. Yesterday, they were like an hour behind.
We haven't often been an hour behind. We usually hang around that 45-minute mark.
Well, but it's because people start asking questions in our chat half an hour before the show starts. And so we're automatically half hour behind when we start. It's awesome. I love the chat. I love
the chat.
We did not hang on everything's a blender as long as we normally do hang on to our...
We probably would have spent 10 minutes on that. And seriously, everything was a blender. It was weird. At one point, it was a toilet, just a toilet. You thought it was a toilet, and then it was a blender.
That is a dangerous thing to be a blender.
What is that about? Turns out it was a little pot for cooking mushrooms, but it looked like a toilet.
Anyway. 2 weeks ago, Russ, you weren't here. There was a question in the chat from like 4 p.m. and the show didn't start until 9:30. I was just like, Peter, there's a question in the chat. He's like, what?
Our chat?
Yeah,
busy.
It was awesome.
Waller plus Watt equals Hollywood. Ooh, that's ugly. I want Waller, but it's probably even, right?
No.
I mean, they're back-to-back in DLF ADP, like literally 74 and 75.
Depending on if there's a premium, you probably have to add like a 23-second to Waller to get to Hollywood.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like I said, they're back-to-back in DLF ADP.
I think you're underrating how
which is very narrative-driven is you definitely have a Hollywood's value up,
ascending asset,
down.
Asset.
So that makes it a little tough to do that swap, which is why I think you will need to pay more than what you feel is necessary. But honestly, I would not feel bad whatsoever. Waller.
I wouldn't feel bad about it. No, I do like having an advantage at tight end, but that's fine. Mr. Mole in a 12-team 1QB start 8. Start 8. Wow, some of these leagues are tight, right?
Start 8 on the top level everything.
Just studs, and whatever else you can find. How important is it to have top level? Oh, that's literally the question. Yes, you should overpay.
Yeah, top level everything.
Just want to stuff it. Like if half of your team is literally Drek from the waiver wire and the other 4 are studs, that's a better team than having a nice, even, good roster.
Well, but it's how important is it to have a top level quarterback in a 1 quarterback league? Start 8.
I think that start 8 kind of elevates it up towards quarterback. Like,
I mean, you're gonna. The point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind going up and getting one, but I usually, if I'm in a 1 quarterback league, I don't worry about that because I can always get a quarterback in a rookie draft in a 2nd round that's going to be the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, start Cousins, start Carr, as well as also good. That's starting. I'd have to run numbers on it, but it almost feels like that would make.
Good about Cousins because he's usually going to score around QB 12.
All right. Yeah, we'll stick with the stock there, I think. Yeah, because I can't say for sure. I think if you're starting Cousins or Carr, you're fine.
I'm in a 1 quarterback league. This is like my longest running. It's my home league, and my quarterbacks are Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson. Okay, I got Dak Prescott off waivers, and I got Lamar Jackson in the 2nd round of a rookie draft.
Yeah.
So again, like I'm not worried about my quarterback right now in a 1 quarterback league. I'm just not.
All right, fellas, I need to go to bed.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Happy birthday, Russ.
Appreciate it. All of you.
And we're going to speed to the end. I feel like Mooney is someone you might have trouble buying from an owner, but not owners won't buy him.
Everybody loves their own brand. Everybody loves the players on their own roster. It's not just Mooney. It's going to be everybody. Like, that's the thing. You roster players you like.
Yes. He is kind of in that nasty range. What's the oldest wide receiver age? I should try. I don't ask me that question, man. I'm fine with it. I tend to think about it, especially when we get to that late in a player's career, it's about the player.
Yeah.
It's not about how old he is. Like, Cup right now, if he was 2 years older, I still wouldn't be too worried. But you look at Robert Woods, I'm worried. Like, that's a player who found a small window of his career later in a very specific situation who was productive. I'm not sure he can recreate that on the... Is he on the Titans now? So that's the way I would look at it.
Yes. Sorry. I was processing Robert Woods. Yes, Titans.
Sorry. Yeah. Is Gesicki have a chance to blow up? He's not going to be Andrews one day. He's going to be a very solid top 12 guy at tight end, which is somewhat disappointing. I would consider Goddard slightly more of a better bet as an upside guy on a weekly basis. But Waller is up again.
Nicholas's the question before about the wide receivers. If you're a rebuild and you're doing nothing older than 24, you're literally looking at CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, and then rookies. Like, that's it. Because everybody else is 24 or older.
Here's the thing. We were talking about this somewhat in the Discord today, and it's true. Like, age matters in Dynasty. It doesn't matter to points. We were looking at ADP, and I think it was kind of literally just straight up asked, what's the difference between the 2 different groups? And so I actually went back, and I can't find it right now. But essentially, in the first round, players who are older than 25 are much more likely to maintain or increase in value, which they can't because in the first round. But wide receivers under 24 or running backs under 24 are pretty likely to maintain or increase based on background averages. But after that, it's a straight up loss to the team all guy. Like, if they're already falling in value, they're going to keep falling in value. And that's kind of my concern with Adams a little bit.
Yep.
But look, the other part of that, and that's how we started into it, is that young guys miss too. Remove the hope from your chest before you make the decision. Because I was looking at ADP from last year, and you've got like 7 wide receivers under the age of 24. Straight up, 4 of them have lost value since that. Like, AJ Brown is one of them. It's not that AJ Brown is a loss because he's young enough and a stud enough that he can bounce back, and so there's still value. Whereas if it was Juju last year, it's a different story. So age provides you somewhat of a better floor because you have extra time, and that's the other part of it. But wide receivers under 24 do straight up miss as well. So it's a balancing act, and wide receivers who are younger, players who are younger, have a better floor. But I'm meant to move on here, so I think I said it, and I'm moving on.
All right, yeah.
Get wide receiver in first in a real, but they last a while. Yeah, they have longer careers, about 4 or 5 years, depending on how you want to look at it. 3-4 years. Bill B loves James White though. He does, doesn't he? Let's get some narratives in here.
He loved Danny Woodhead. He loved Shane Vereen. He loved
Dion Lewis.
Bill Belichick likes the player who is going to take less money to play for him. That's who he likes.
That's who Bill likes. Thanks for the input earlier, guys. No problem, Lofty. I also had he had got Pickett, in the 10th round. Yes,
in a super flex quarterbacks.
I keep thinking about Terrence Lawrence. We can't get into it, but like I think I maybe have nothing to him for too long. Like right now, he's a good buy. I hate buying Jags like Jets, but that player's decent. I don't know, but another side topic we're not getting into. Nicholas J. Waller is a higher value tight end than Hollywood at wide receiver. Yeah, it's kind of where me and Zach were at when we were talking about that. Hollywood owner doesn't want picks. He wants mid-tier talent on top of Waller. Ooh. I would be more interested in doing that. Like a second round value talent on top of, there's more risk to a player. So
I would not mind giving up a rookie from this year's class paired with Waller, because again, I'm not as confident in which players are going to be good from this class, and it's a down talent class overall. But I like David. I like David Bell. Peter, you and I are on the David.
No,
Bell
I was
train.
just thinking that that name could fall into that conversation. I would be like, I want to see how that rides out, but I don't mind the idea. If I need a running back 2, you don't. You don't need a RB2. Who can I target and trade that won't cost a fortune? Someone that isn't a running back 2. Yeah, like Fournette's a top 12 guy.
But he's old. But he's old. Yeah. Yep.
Fournette, Derrick Henry is honestly falling, like we talked about earlier, and you can kind of get him way too cheap. Your running back 2, you want to be a running back 1 is essentially what I'm saying, or just get what you can get.
Elijah Mitchell,
Kamara. That's why I like him, Kamara.
Yep.
Because I think he has that potential. Jacobs at a push.
We even talked about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Miles Sanders being like deep, really undervalued. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hollywood Waller passing each other like ships in the night. Yeah. Dynasty has us away with metaphors. Sorry, I thought I'd interrupt. Shot in the dark here, but what wide receiver could I get by pairing Claypool and Visca? Donald Mooney?
I would do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. That would be excellent.
That's probably a good one. Amon-Ra is valued more than that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's already one Amon-Ra. Probably too much, yeah. But Donald Mooney's probably a pretty good target with those deeper sleeper kind of. We liked them once, guys. Gavin, you got fleeced somebody. You got to fleece somebody. You don't have to, but that's the way a lot of trades happen.
What about like Ayuk might be a player that you could get for Claypool and Visca.
Wow.
I think.
Sutton?
Sutton's probably a little higher than that. Allen Robinson might be a fun. We talked about Mike Williams earlier. That's a good wide. Like I saw your wide receiver core. If you had Mike Williams as your wide receiver 5 as a flex play, like that's exciting. But
I continue to be shocked by everyone else's value of Ayuk, but I would also consider things like Josh Palmer in a second. Like even deeper wide receivers who are young, and why not? Plus some other draft capital. But those names he just listed are much better. Bye, Russ. Thank you, Joe. Nicholas, I got Garrett Wilson, David Bell, George Pickens, Khalil Shakir, who'll be okay trading, even though he's a sleeper of mine. Sleepers suck. Justin Ross, never. Some sleepers, Danny Gray for wide receivers, and I don't know what to add to Waller to get Hollywood.
See if you can give him Shakir, because a lot of people like Shakir. Yeah.
You do need wide receivers, but honestly, I really hate losing Waller when you've got weak wide receivers. But it's fine. That's what you want to do. Try Shakir. That'd be great, actually, if you could do that. And Night Birthday Boy, thanks for another great show. Yes, sir. It is Dynasty Outhouse birthday. Please add him at Dynasty Outhouse. Thank him for being on our show on his birthday. Happy birthday, Russ. Mooney 24, maybe. Yeah. Or Judy 23. Loves less, but I want Judy. Yeah. Okay, man. Okay, guys. I just did the trade. Swift, JT, Bateman for Chubb, Barkley, CMC. Wow. Took Cook, Metcalf, Travis E, JMO, 23 first, 24 first, Goff. 23 first looks like the 1.06. You got all of that for JT Swift and Bateman.
I mean, you just trade.
You did give away
two of the top 4 or running backs.
Fair.
So
yeah, I kind of like.
I don't mind that, especially if you're making a push and your team was, not great to start with. Like if you had Taylor and Swift and that was pretty much what you got, especially if it's a bigger league. I like that. 12, 14 team. I don't know what it is, but
Joe, I would also have declined this trade. Rager, Will Fuller for Visca. Will Fuller, Rager and Will Fuller for Visca. Yeah. Okay. Visca.
Man, I'd rather have Will Fuller, I think.
I was going to say that, but then I realized she's saying for Visca. I mean, Will Fuller's my guy, but he does. I get liking Visca still. Why not? I guess.
I don't.
Probably prefer Will Fuller. Yeah, kind of out. Oh, sorry. Who's your Dynasty wide receiver 3 behind Chase Jefferson? Do you want to go? Because I happen to know mine because I get a lot of flack for it.
Go for it. What's yours?
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I'm still in that neighborhood, Pete. I am.
You just like him because he's young. No, I don't. But it's part of it. That's why I have him above this guy, for example. Should be in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me the conversation is like Lamb, Higgins, AJ Brown, that and Waddle, maybe Metcalf. But still, to me, it's still CeeDee Lamb. I think that that golden word, the upside, is still on the CeeDee Lamb side.
Vacated target. No.
No. But if you subscribe to the Peter Howard theory, Peter, if you listen, I get this guy at PA Howdy on Twitter. If you listen to his podcast, Dynasty Grind on Wednesday night is really nice live. But if you listen to the Dynasty Crossroads on any of your podcast apps, you will hear Peter talk about not vacated targets, but that good players earn targets. And I believe that CeeDee Lamb is a good player.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, and should create.
I think the offense is going to restrict. Losing Cooper means a lot. Not to mention with that Gallup, the offense restricts, and CeeDee Lamb's target share, which everyone keeps mentioning, will increase naturally. Right. But he's also got 7 targets a game, and I don't even need to increase that to 10 or nothing. I just think his red zone opportunities naturally increase with the restriction of the offense as well, and the value he provides in the slot increases, and so there are more slot targets. And maybe he gets some more of those outside. I don't think you need to believe he gets Murray Cooper's targets to think a good player is going to be a huge part of an offense.
Right.
Brendan. Also, Nicholas, I love this value. This is why I keep getting shocked by everything we're saying about Ayuk tonight. I like 2 first seems like an easy value to trade Ayuk away for. But everything we've talked about Ayuk, people are like, oh, he's less than certain. And I'm like, okay, I like Ayuk a lot more than that. I like him like I like Sutton. Would you look to move one of these guys if you had Waller, Fairmouth, and Ivy?
Irv, yeah.
Yeah, Irv for sure. I don't mind moving Fairmouth, but like I said, I'm not seeing the value in trades right now.
And I think Waller probably gets his value in a trade compared to what he could score you. I would not move Waller. Probably, unless somebody blows me out of the water. But Freiermuth, I think it's the other way, where people value him higher than what he's actually going to score. So I like Freiermuth and Irv Smith are the guys that I would trade.
Gavin, I would do either of those trades, and I don't think you get one of them. But again, leagues are different. But yeah, that seems too low for either. And got 2 firsts for Jacobs too. You just get 2 firsts for anyone, don't you, Nicholas? You're just a master negotiator, I guess. But yeah, that's awesome. I own Kelsey Schultz. Should I try to sell one? I mean, it's about the trade. Always be willing to trade. I don't see a drastic need. It's not like having a backup significant tight end is like, he's not a strong sell. And I'm keeping Kelsey. I want the points. I can't get 1 first for my... Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. Like Ayuk is worth less than Sutton, and I think he should be worth around what Sutton is, a first or more. Wow, we caught up. Look, that's 12:08. That's where we're at now.
We did it.
Nice.
We did it, Peter.
Right. Thank you, chat. Got to throw another one, and thank you, Zach. You are awesome, and I had a great deal of time. I had a great deal of fun talking with you. And Outhouse on his birthday. What?
Look over there, Peter.